anywhere, because you've got Porsche coming up on TV and the stream if you're watching on an app. Have a great day.
Here we go at 1 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Live here on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Tyler Fingert. We're so glad you're here. This is an interactive news conversation. We are live streaming on all of our social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you have a comment about anything we're talking about, join us in the comment section. We want to get straight to the news we're following right now. A weather alert just got issued for part of Metro Atlanta. You're taking a live look from the Atlanta skyline. You can see what looks like a lot of rain falling just north of what Midtown is, probably into Buckhead right now, and it's slowly moving across what looks like Piedmont Park. Let's bring in Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes with a check of the forecast. And Alex, I understand a flash flood warning is now in effect for part of our area.
For the next couple of hours, it's parts of Fulton and Cobb counties, and it's easy to look at a flash flood warning and go, uh-oh, like some serious problems are on the way. This is different from what we saw over parts of Gilmer County last week and into Fannin County. This is more for street flooding in and around the metro area. So let's get over to Fox 5 Live Viper and check out what we are looking at. This is, as Tyler was describing, north of Atlanta. The flash flood warning, it picks up really like right at North Avenue and goes up 75 and in towards the Vinings area. And the reason why it was issued was because when we look at the 3-hour rainfall here, this green color is between a ½ inch and 2 inches of rain. Most everybody has seen at least that. But, I mean, go further in and you can see most everybody has seen almost 2 inches of rain just in the last, I mean, this is 3 hours, but most of this has happened in the last hour in that green flashing area. And it's not just that location, right? I'm watching up into Cobb County now, where we've seen a lot of rain from Kennesaw down to Smyrna, down in towards Henry County. I mean, look at all of this, right? This is all just in the last 3 hours in and around Metro Atlanta. And the problem is, when I put this back in motion, you're going to see that the storms, they're not really moving. They're just kind of sitting there. They're percolating was the verb I was using, because they kind of go up and then they come down and they're not moving north. They're not moving south. They're just kind of like, think of it as a pot of boiling water. The physics are the exact same with these storms, and they are right over the metro area. So the next problem spots I would be watching, I mentioned Cobb County, up 75, and out near the Hiram area, Powder Springs, I'd be looking for some instances of flash flooding. But then my attention's also going down towards Clayton County and Henry County, in and around Hartsfield, just to the east of Hartsfield over into DeKalb as well. We're about to get some really heavy rain here at Fox 5. So that's kind of the lay of the land right now in terms of the flash flood threat. Elsewhere across Metro Atlanta and North Georgia, we're dry up in Northeast Georgia, we're dry in Northwest Georgia. But when I flip this over to the satellite, what you're going to see is the cloud cover beginning to fill in. And as that happens, there comes your rain chance into the next several hours. So I suspect that flash flood warning here north of the metro is not going to be our only one of the day, and we're going to continue tracking that through the afternoon. Coming up here in the next hour or so, we're going to take a more in-depth forecast, or look at the forecast for the week ahead. But Tyler, each day is going to be pretty similar to today. I could just say that, and that sums everything up almost perfectly.
And so just a quick thing about the flash flood warning. People in low-lying areas really need to be aware right now?
Yeah, and so it's mainly for street flooding, first and foremost. But if your basement is prone to flooding in and around the Buckhead area, if you come up on a road that is covered in water, it's not the best idea to drive over it. I mean, we saw in Blue Ridge a couple days ago what can happen, right? The culvert washed out and the car ended up stuck, and it probably just looked like the road had a little bit of water on it. So that's probably the best piece of advice. That's from Georgia Tech's campus right now. You can see the heavy rain over on the east side of town, which we just heard on the roof in the studio in the last couple of minutes.
Alex, thanks so much. And I want to mention real quick, the airport is on a ground stop depending what you are trying to do. So we know that the storms are around the airport right now, and a lot of flights heading to Hartsfield, Jackson International Airport, taking a live look right now, are being held at their origin airport, and that's going to be in place until about 1:45 this afternoon. They just extended that just within the last about 20 minutes. It initially went into place at about 11:20 this morning. For planes that are leaving Atlanta, we are on a departure delay for about 45 minutes, and the FAA says that is increasing, and you can just see those dark clouds over the airport right now. So if you are flying, you do want to be paying attention to the weather and checking with your airline, because certainly going to be impacting flights into and out of Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport for the rest of the afternoon. As we come back into the newsroom, I want to check in with our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza, for a check of the stories that we are working on this afternoon and some of the headlines. Tanya, good afternoon to you.
Hey, Tyler. Yes, we have several reporters working on different stories, but I want to start off with a press release we just got from the Canton Police Department. Quickly, I'm just going to mention they're investigating the death of a 2-year-old child. In the press release, they said that they conducted an investigation and that they found probable cause to charge the mother's live-in boyfriend. All the details will be on our website. I believe we just pushed an alert about that. Jameson and Joyce are working hard on that, and you can read all about that on our website, and we'll have an update in our later shows. Let's move on to what we were working on this morning at around 8 a.m. Annie Mapp is out in Dunwoody. There was a shooting reported at a parking deck near an apartment complex. Dunwoody police responded to the Drift Apartments following reports of a shooting after a parking deck crash. 2 vehicles collided, one driven by a woman, the other by 2 men. After an argument broke out, the female driver, they say, called her boyfriend to the scene. Upon his arrival, police are saying that an argument erupted between the boyfriend and the 2 men, and that the boyfriend is accused of firing 3 shots, shooting 1 man in the foot. Our crew is out there. We do have a soundbite, an interview with a neighbor. Let's listen into that.
Early morning and people trying to get to work, I'm sure trying to get the kids out for school, and a disagreement, and unfortunately it ended up like this, and luckily nobody was hurt or anything, but we were scared because they're kids who live in the complex.
So Tyler, that's what happened over in Dunwoody this morning. Annie Mapp will have more later. Tyler?
Yeah, certainly a scary morning there in Dunwoody. You can see someone in that video we're looking at kind of putting their camera up just a little bit as they're trying to look like hiding during this situation. Let's take people a little bit further north to the Forsyth County. There was a chase there. What can you tell us about what Ray Urena is working on today?
Yeah, Ray Urena is over in Forsyth County, where the sheriff's office actually posted a video on Facebook about a recent chase. So I believe it was around July this chase took place, but basically a deputy had noticed a driver was on his phone, so he started following him. The driver kept going, a chase started. Eventually, the man who was on his cell phone, they say, jumped out of the car and he left the vehicle rolling. There was a passenger inside the vehicle. He fled on foot towards Rooster's Cafe. This all started around, I believe, like Rest Haven Street. But basically, the chase took place. The man flees on foot. The vehicle was rolling with the passenger inside, and we're looking at the video right now. Let's let it play out a little so you can see that part. But eventually, what they're saying is, despite the massive response, and they called out K9, their drone team. There you go. You see, he let the vehicle keep rolling, and he jumped out. And he was able to elude the sheriff's office. So eventually, they kind of called off the chase temporarily, but around 1 p.m., a captain with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office spotted the man again, and he ran into a patch of kudzu. This is where deputies were able to take him into custody, and the man was arrested. The suspect's name is DeAnthony Norman. Norman was wanted, they say, on an active warrant for a probation violation for aggravated assault with a weapon out of Walton County. Ray is going to have all those details later, and I'm sure we'll have this video on our website as well, and we'll play it throughout the day in the live stream and the other shows. Tyler?
Yeah, certainly interesting to see how all of this played out for the deputies up in Forsyth County. Someone is asking on our TikTok right now about flock cameras. They're talking about Canton, but we are now talking about Coweta. There was, I guess, several sheriff's deputies involved in Coweta County misusing flock cameras. What can you tell us about this case that Doug Evans is working on?
That's right. So that's what Doug's working on. The Coweta Sheriff's Office did put out a statement. So basically what they are saying in the statement, during a self-initiated internal audit of flock safety technology use, several Coweta County Sheriff's Office employee accounts were flagged for administrative review when questioned by the department heads. 3 employees decided to resign before the audit and internal investigation could be completed. So they did this before it was complete. The sheriff's office emphasized its commitment to lawful ethical system use, adding new training for authorized users and enforcing strict oversight. They also say that to ensure complete transparency, they've called in the GBI to investigate and conduct an independent investigation into the employee's conduct. So that's what happened in Coweta, and that just seems to be the latest county that has had employees allegedly misusing the flock system surge. So we're going to be following this more and more. Cal Calloway, who's been on this show before, he's actually requested that we put in Freedom of Information Acts with five major counties to look into to see how many departments are going through something similar. Tyler?
Yeah, Tanya, I mean, I know a couple weeks ago, Rob DiRienzo, one of our reporters, did a whole story about several different counties and different local police departments having to get rid of several officers accused of misusing these flock cameras. It seems to be popping up more and more, and we're going to stay on top of it. So I'm sure that Doug will have a full wrap-up with the details for his story when he joins us a little bit later here on Fox 5 News Live. Tanya Mendoza with an update on the stories we're working on today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyler.
And as we come back into the newsroom, we want to talk about back to school. We know that some major school districts went back yesterday, but even more went back today. And that includes the cities of Marietta and Gainesville, as well as Paulding and Dawson counties. And over at Marietta High School, seniors kept a tradition alive. They TP'd the campus this morning. Look at that right there. Looks like they did a great job. It's something the community supports and enjoys seeing. Take a look.
The camaraderie that it generates, and the kids, every year, my son did it last year, and this year they've done an awesome job, and it just brings them all together, and the community loves it.
Which generation did it best?
Oh, the 90s. Late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. Yeah, for sure.
For generations, decades here in Marietta, the night before school starts, seniors will roll campus. So they meet out there. For us, it's about allowing them to have some supervised fun. It's about kids making core memories and really kicking off their senior year. And from my understanding, I was there with them last night. I have not been back this morning, but I think they nailed us.
And students in several other school districts return to class tomorrow, including Gwinnett, Douglas, and Bartow counties, as well as Beaufort and Social Circle City schools. And speaking of returning to class, as families settle back into that school routine, they're finding a restaurant everyone can enjoy is certainly a challenge. And Nina Reeder, senior editor for The Infatuation Atlanta, has done the homework for us, and she put together a whole list of some of the best family-friendly restaurants around the metro. She joins us now live with all the details. Nina, I'm so glad you're here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, Tyler.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say I'm in this same boat myself. I sent my kids to school this week, so I get it. I know, managing dinner time schedules between the pickups and the drop-offs and the practices and all the picky eaters, so I understand.
Yeah, the picky eater, certainly. You don't know what everyone's going to want that evening, and that's why sometimes restaurants might be the best choice, because they have a nice little menu with a lot of different options, especially if you go to maybe a bigger chain or something like that. I mean, for me, the thought always comes to Cheesecake Factory, because that menu is like 1 million pages long. But
right.
Let's talk about this. For local places, what are some of the family-friendly things that you look for?
Right. So we are at The Infatuation. We're a team of 3 to 4, and we are dining out about 5 times a week, right? And so we pay for our own meals, we dine under aliases, we don't accept any freebies or compensation, and all this is meant to tell our readers what it is, to give honest and trustworthy opinions on what it's like dining out in the city. And, we're comparing, we're fighting for reservations like everyone else. When we sit down at a table, we're not getting any special treatment. So our meal is coming out at the same time as everybody else. And we're using our expertise to compile, to think for parents, like solve a lot of dining dilemmas in tough situations. Because I know back to school is so tough. And so this guide, we put a collection of guides together, everything from kid-friendly spots to places open on Monday, buffet to places you can go for a casual dinner, or even if you're on a budget where you can really make your dollar stretch.
Yeah. So you guys look for things beyond just a kids menu, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll talk about Smileys. So Smileys, I see it's on the screen right now. So this is a family favorite. And of course, you know, burgers and milkshakes, kids love that. But they have these smiley face fries, and they also give baseball cards out for every purchase. So that's cool. One of our favorites. Little Ray's, this is a family treasure. So if you go any day and you'll see a play date in the corner or a family table over there. But it's a counter service taco operation. But they also do a family meal deal. So for $36, you can get a whole chicken. You can get rice and beans and tortillas and chips and salsa. And it's a lot of food, so it can feed a small family, and it might even pack you up with some leftovers to go.
Those are obviously very unique places. I've heard of Little Ray. I've been there a couple of times. I mean, it's more than just trying to make sure the food's good. You want the atmosphere to be right for kids to be there so that they can have a good time, just like, well, the parents are enjoying the food.
Absolutely. And some of our favorites for children. So again, I know it's hard as a parent to get the kids off the screen time. It's back to school. You want to have a conversation and catch up on their school day. So we have a few spots where it's almost like a dinner and a show. So 57th Fighter Club, that's in Shamley. And this is where you can view the DeKalb Peachtree Airport. So kids can sit and they can eat their kids' menu classics, from the grilled cheese to the chicken tenders, and you'll see planes landing. So that's a great dining for families. Another one is authentic hand-pulled noodles. This is in Decatur. It just opened. We love this place. It made our hit list. It opened early in the year, but they have a kitchen viewing window, which it's mesmerizing for kids. So you see the chef back there stretching and pulling noodles. Kids love this, and parents love this because the portions are huge. Yeah. So again, you can really stretch your budget here.
And so for parents who are looking for this guide, where can they find it? Where can they get information about all of the stuff you were able to find and put together? Right.
So you go to our website, and right at the top of the page is our back to school collection. And again, it has everything. You know, we're trying to solve all these dining dilemmas for you, and Atlanta is a great place for it. So whatever situation you need, we've got some solutions for you. So go to the website, but also download our app. So we have an app, and it really works when you're out on the go. So you can pull it up, you can see the restaurants in your area, to see the restaurants we've rated, where we recommend what to order, maybe what to pass on, but you can filter it down. So, you know, maybe you're looking for a type of cuisine that night. Maybe you're looking for to stay in a price range or in a neighborhood, or a perfect for scenario for like a casual Monday night dinner. That's where you can find it. So the app is great for that.
Well, Nina Reeder, thanks so much for joining us, the senior editor at The Infatuation Atlanta. I appreciate you breaking all this down for us. It sounds like a great list and a great guide for folks looking for a great after-school dinner now that kids are back in school. Thanks so much for joining us, Nina. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as we come back into the newsroom, we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're back after this. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live on this Tuesday afternoon. The time now is 1:21. We're so glad you're here. Let's continue on with something that I think some people might be interested in hearing about. It has to do with drone delivery. So Atlanta residents are getting a firsthand look at the future of delivery as Zipline hosts live demonstrations today of its drone technology and package delivery service. So we sent our Maria Guzman out to check it out. Maria, this sounds very futuristic, but we are certainly reaching that point where this is going to be something we're going to start seeing in the future.
Hey Tyler, it's super cool. I mean, those drones are right here behind me. They're right there, Doc. And you know, today has been very rainy, but what's really cool is that these drones are able to operate in rain or even during sunshine. So it doesn't matter the weather, these drones are able to fly. But what's really cool is that, you know, if you're ever super tired or let's say you're sick and you can't go to a store to pick up your medicine, well, that's where these drones are able to come in and help you, and they'll be able to pick up your medicine and drop it off as well in your in a near location. So I actually got to speak with Andrea, who is with Zipline, on how they're able to make this all work, and they're hoping that they can bring Zipline to Georgia within the next year. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Want to download the Zipline app, you'll place your address in. So this one we're going to choose here because that is where we are today in Atlanta. And what you'll see is these are all approved and determined that they're safe to land and safe to do deliveries in. So we'll choose this one since we're standing right there. You'll go ahead and confirm that location. In commercial operations, what you'll see is an entire marketplace and a number of storefronts with our national partners or small businesses that we are partnering with in the local area. But here we have set up a storefront specifically for this use because we're not currently operational yet in Atlanta. And you'll scroll through just like you would any app. You'll place an order, load it to the cart, and you'll check out. And then just like others, it will give you updates on order received, that the team is preparing the order, and it'll often give you a countdown of how much time it's going to take for you to expect your delivery. I am holding a much smaller pod. It is attached to a larger drone that flies your delivery right to your door. That drone stays 300 feet in the air, and it lowers this smaller pod with your delivery right to your backyard. This pod, as you can see, is not as heavy as it might look. It is made something similar of styrofoam, polycarbonate, I believe. And when it goes to pick up the delivery, it will be transported inside here. We can hold up to 8 pounds worth of goods, either retail or food. And once it gets to your delivery location, the drone will remain 300 feet in the air. It'll lower this pod all the way to the ground, and it will open up the bottom and place your order very gently on the ground. So you're able to order, fragile things like eggs or, cold items or hot items, and it'll be placed very, very gently on the ground in your yard. So we partner with national retailers. We partner with a lot of local mom and pop small businesses in the areas that we operate, as well as the healthcare facilities. And in this bag, we have 5 pounds worth of groceries, so that if we're having some folks over for a backyard barbecue and needed some last minute supplies, you can go ahead and open up the Zipline app, place your order. It'll be delivered right to your yard. And you'll see in here, we've got some hot dogs, some potato salad, some green beans, everything that you might need for maybe a last minute get together.
And these drones are able to fly up to 10 miles, so 5 miles in and 5 miles out. And Zipline is already operating in certain states, and so they're hoping to reach Georgia very soon, Tyler.
Maria, just a quick question. A lot of us are wondering what happens if, the bag would just fall out of the sky. I mean, is there safety measures in place to make sure that drone holds on to that bag?
Yeah, they tell me that, the pod is very secure, and so they're hoping that will not happen. So I guess we'll see. This is technology, so it's changing, it's evolving, and so we'll see what's next for this drone delivery service.
Super cool, super futuristic. We know that that is certainly going to be the wave of the future as a lot more of these companies start to come out with it. So we could be seeing it in the skies above Atlanta soon, where I could order something and get delivered right to my door thanks to a drone. Maria Guzman, thanks so much for looking at this for us, and we'll check in with you throughout the afternoon. I do appreciate it. And as we continue on here, I want to give you some national news right now, and this has to do with a big trial that is happening in Massachusetts. For the first time, jurors are learning about the mental state of Massachusetts' mother accused of killing her 3 children back in 2023. Prosecutors say Lindsay Clancy meticulously planned the murders, and her defense attorneys aren't denying that she killed them. However, they argue that she is not criminally responsible because she was experiencing what is known as postpartum psychosis when it happened. And our Kaylee Schuyler joins us live from Plymouth, Massachusetts with the latest on the week 2 of testimony. Kaylee, what can you tell us about what's happening in court today?
Hey, Tyler. So Clancy actually spoke for the first time in court today when she agreed to stipulate to certain facts of this case. And we don't know what those are just yet, but it is expected to speed up the trial.
Do you understand, by signing or going along with that stipulation, you are basically relieving the Commonwealth of its burden to prove those certain facts? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what you want to do at this point?
Yes.
All right.
Clancy and her ex-husband Patrick have filed separate malpractice lawsuits claiming that doctors mismanaged her severe postpartum mental illness by prescribing an unstable mix of medications. So far, arguments this week are focusing on Clancy's physical and mental health from January of 2023. Clancy attempted suicide by jumping out of a window after she strangled her 3 children to death, and Clancy is now paralyzed from her injuries. Prosecutors say Clancy is criminally responsible for her children's deaths and argue she methodically planned the murder. But Clancy's defense is pointing to journals that investigators found at the crime scene. And yesterday in court, her defense attorney read some of the entries where Clancy said she felt guilty and disconnected from her children and her relationship.
I now have horrible insomnia and anxiety, which is causing depression. I have no appetite. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want help. I want to be well. You saw that in there, didn't you?
Yes.
If she's convicted of murder, she faces life in prison without parole. But if she's found not guilty by reason of mental illness, she will be committed to a mental health facility here in the state. Tyler?
Kaylee, so obviously you had mentioned that with what she stipulated to today, it's going to speed up the trial. How long do we expect this trial to drag out for?
So at the beginning of all of this, the judge said it was expected to last several weeks. And then back on Friday, he said that things actually appeared to be ahead of schedule. And so, again, we don't know exactly what these stipulations are going to be, but it's going to weed out several witnesses. So we expect it to be a little bit quicker than originally anticipated.
Yeah, certainly a tragic story. We're going to be watching this play out in the Massachusetts courtroom. Kaylee Schuyler, thanks so much for the update on what is happening up in Plymouth. Do appreciate it. And as we continue on here on this busy Tuesday afternoon, we're going to check in with our digital content creator, Jamison Moyer, in just 2 minutes. We're back after this. probably in about 4 or 5 minutes. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live on this Tuesday afternoon. The time now is 1:31. It's time now to get a check of the stories that are trending right now on fox5atlanta.com and our Fox Local app. Our Jamison Moyer, one of our digital content creators, joins us now live with what is trending. And Jamison, good afternoon to you. Walk us through what's the #1 thing on our website right now.
Good afternoon, Tyler. We have lots of news today. So the #1 thing on our website right now is a Metro Atlanta woman is suing multiple Kaiser Permanente entities after a devastating lab mix-up led to an unnecessary major surgery. 43-year-old Cassandra Barksdale says that she was misdiagnosed with aggressive uterine cancer in early 2025, believing she only had 5 years to live. She underwent a total hysterectomy. Months later, Kaiser administrators revealed the truth, that her biopsy sample was mislabeled and the cancerous tissue belonged to someone else, she claims. Barksdale says the emotional and physical toll has been life-altering. She spoke at an 11 a.m. press conference about the experience. Take a listen to what she said today.
I had to contact my kids to let them know that I have 5 years to live and I'm going to die because I have aggressive cancer. I started contacting other attorneys to try to get trust funds that way I could leave my house in a trust for my kids. My sons, they went into a deep depression. It took a big hold over my family.
Her lawsuit alleges severe negligence and chain of custody failures. We have reached out to Kaiser Permanente for comment and are waiting to hear back.
Certainly a tragic story for her. Another story I see trending on our website right now has to do with someone trying to get some contraband into a prison.
Yeah, so a late night sound overhead at a Georgia prison has landed 2 Metro Atlanta men behind bars. Staff members at Washington State Prison in Davisboro called local deputies after hearing what sounded like a drone making a contraband drop inside the grounds. Deputies rushed to the area, pulled over a suspicious vehicle nearby, and arrested 22-year-olds Kimani McLaren and Giovanni Morris, both men who are from Lithonia. Inside the prison, correctional officers recovered a massive delivery bag stuffed with over 5 pounds of marijuana, nearly 15 pounds of tobacco, ecstasy, hydrocodone, and cell phones. Both men are now facing a laundry list of felony charges. Sheriff Joel Cochran offered some blunt advice for anyone planning to do the same thing. Find a different hobby, he says.
Find a different hobby. That's pretty blunt. I mean, obviously, it makes sense that he doesn't want people doing this at his prison, and it looks like they were able to capture it all, so it made sure it didn't make it inside of the prison's walls there. Let's talk about this. I saw this come through, I think, on a press release, and it has to do with the worst states for having a baby.
Do you think you can guess where Georgia landed on this list, Tyler?
I think Georgia's pretty good, so I don't think it's the worst place to have a baby. But I have a feeling if the slug says for our rundown, worst place to have a baby, I'm assuming we're probably near the bottom of the list.
That's a good guess. Let's get into it. If you're planning to welcome a baby, where you live can make a massive difference in your care and your wallet. A new Wallet Hub report ranks the best and worst states to have a baby in 2026, evaluating delivery costs, healthcare quality, and family support. Massachusetts took the top spot thanks to low infant mortality rates and top-rated neonatal care, followed by Minnesota and North Dakota. Unfortunately, my home state of Mississippi ranked dead last. Here in Georgia, the news isn't great either. Our state ranked 44th overall, scoring poorly on baby and family friendliness. With conventional delivery costs averaging over $15,000 and the 18-year cost to raise a child now topping $300,000, location matters more than ever when it comes to having a child and raising them.
I can understand why that's trending right now. Jamison, thanks so much for joining us for the stories that are trending right now on fox5atlanta.com and Fox Local. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as we come back into the newsroom now on this busy Tuesday afternoon, the time now is 1:36. I want to talk about this story right now. A warning this afternoon for restaurant owners across Metro Atlanta. DeKalb County Public Health says a YouTube creator has been impersonating a health inspector, which is against the law. The health department sent us a clip of a stop he made at a Buford Highway restaurant in Brookhaven recently. And I want you to take a listen to some of what happened.
My name is Agent Black with the 30303. I'm just here for your routine inspection.
Okay, I'm calling back.
Okay, cool.
He's coming outside.
He's ready?
He's coming outside. He said give him a minute. He's coming.
Okay. The service back area real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Looks pretty neat back here. Pretty neat. Do you mind opening this? Matter of fact, I got my gloves on.
This meat just cooking for today.
Let me see the meat. What meat is, and what kind of meat is that?
General Tso chicken.
General Tso chicken, okay.
The open we shoot for up is 38.
Okay, all right.
And so officials say these stunts aren't just pranks. They can actually undermine trust in legitimate inspections. And joining us now is interim DeKalb County Public Health Director, Dr. Lynn Paxton. Dr. Paxton, I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. I mean, seeing the video, one of the things that I noticed about it on YouTube is at the bottom of, like, I guess the caption line basically says this is for entertainment purposes. This is kind of, I guess, a concerning thing for you guys. I appreciate you joining us.
Well, thanks very much for having us and giving us an opportunity to address this imposter scammer. No matter what he says about this being for entertainment purposes, this serves no legitimate purpose. And what I wanted to make certain that people know is that there is an imposter out there who's doing this in multiple states, and he's doing it in several counties here in Georgia. And it is that people should be aware of this, and that they should know what is that a true inspection does not involve someone just walking in. They have to. A true inspector has legitimate ID. Does not expect to be, is not going to accept free food or money or ask for it, and will leave documentation behind of whatever they might find. So what I also wanted people to understand is that we absolutely do ongoing inspections of establishments on a set schedule. And that if anyone also, if we receive reports from the public about, their concerns about perhaps a particular establishment, we will then go in and we will inspect. And at a time of inspection, if any violations are seen, then they are immediately pointed out on the spot, they're corrected on the spot, and or a plan of action for prompt correction is done. So what you're seeing on the screen from this scammer has really nothing to do with with what really goes on. So I just wanted to make sure that the public is aware of that.
I mean, does it kind of like undermine trust, though? I mean, obviously these restaurants, they're out there trying every day to hopefully do the right thing. I mean, I assume people do not get into business to try to purposely make people sick. That is why the health department's there to do the inspections and make sure that you have restaurants following the rules and guidelines set out to make sure people can stay safe. Does this undermine, when you have someone quote unquote impersonating a health inspector, does this kind of undermine what you guys are trying to do to make sure that people are staying safe?
It absolutely. I mean, things that, it makes people think that this is what actually happens. That is not what happens. And I would put this in the same category as people deliberately spreading misinformation about, vaccines and other things, because every bit of misinformation that you put out there can lead people to believe the wrong things, or things that are incorrect and that are not reflective of true life. So I do feel that this is just another example of that, and that we should be basically aware that this is happening. This is a misdemeanor. It's a crime, and so this is now for law enforcement to follow up on this scam here.
I want to do a public service for restaurant owners and people who might work at a restaurant if they're listening to this. What happens if someone walks in like this individual? Are they able to deny access to the restaurant if they don't have a badge and the appropriate paperwork to show that they actually are a real health inspector? I mean, is there something you would recommend they do?
Yes, I would absolutely say if a person comes in and does not show proper identification, does not, if the establishment owner or manager has any suspicions about this person, they can simply call us. They can call the Department of Health, and we can verify whether or not this person is actually an employee and is there on a legitimate purpose. So I would say absolutely check their credentials. If you have any doubts, then give us a call and we will verify for you.
Dr. Lynn Paxton, I appreciate you joining us to try to break this down. When I saw this come out yesterday in our emails, your public information folks sent it out. I knew I wanted to try to get you on our show today to talk about this because it's certainly concerning to see someone doing this, especially considering it is against the law. And as you mentioned, it kind of undermines public trust in the process of trying to make sure that food establishments are safe. But I appreciate you joining us, Dr. Lynn Paxton, this afternoon.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to get the word out. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you joining us. And as we come back into the newsroom now, let's kind of talk on the food topic. There was a giveaway today in Marietta at a local church, and our Eli Jordan is there with details on what happened. Hey, Eli.
Hey, good afternoon, Tyler. Yes, they're wrapped up now, but fear not. The Episcopal Church of St. Peter and St. Paul here in Marietta, they have a food drive the first Tuesday of every month. It goes on from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we got a little video of earlier when we were out here. And, they're going to hand it out 2 weeks worth of food for 4 people. That's a good bit of food. And they're going to hand out like a 6-pound chicken, cereal, milk, and canned goods, bread, things like that. And I spoke to a member of the church, Tom Martin, and here's what he had to say about the event. And so tell me about the program. You guys been doing this for 8 years, right?
8 years, first Tuesday of every month. And we heard about it from First Redeemer Church up in Cumming, Georgia. And so we asked to become a satellite of their operation. And it's been very, very successful for us. And it not only helps people in need, but the volunteers that participate in this, it helps move God from their head down into their heart. And that's for the volunteer. That's a wonderful experience to have. You know, when you're talking to people that have less than you, it makes you feel how privileged you are, and that reaching out to others is what we want to do.
And that, that great feeling of giving. I mean, we learn as we get older that giving feels a whole lot better than getting.
That's right.
And so just tell me, where are we? What's the address here? So if people miss it today, they can come next month, correct?
Yes, 1795 Johnson's Ferry Road, Marietta, Georgia.
Awesome. And then come first Tuesday of every month, correct?
Yep, set 10 to 1.
First Tuesday of every month, 10 to 1 at the Episcopal Church of St. Peter and St. Paul here in Marietta. Now, it's the Hope for the Hungry program, and, they give enough away each Tuesday to about 70 families. That's about 300 people, and, enough for 4 people, 4 pounds of chicken, and 6 pounds of chicken, and box of cereal and some milk, some canned goods, and some bread. And you don't need to be in any kind of a fiscal bracket or live in a certain zip code or anything like that. You can just come on out here first Tuesday of the month here at the Episcopal Church of St. Peter and St. Paul in Marietta at 1795 Johnson Ferry Road. Tyler, back to you.
Eli, thanks so much for showing us this giveaway today. Obviously, vitally important for people in the community. We know people are in need, so the fact that churches do this to be able to help out, appreciate you showing us what they did today.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, good thing, definitely. As you come back into the newsroom, we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock. We're going to check in with our Chris Rosenthal in just 2 minutes. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Live here on this Tuesday afternoon. The time now is 1:47. So let's talk about this. A local school serving refugee girls is getting a big back-to-school surprise today. And our Chris Rosenthal joins us now live with the details. And Chris, I understand the Atlanta Dream are doing this big surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm over here at the Global Village Project here in Decatur. We're about 46 refugee girls are students here, and it's their second day of school. And I'm going to actually get out of the way. They're actually here having a lot of fun with the Atlanta Dream team here, getting to play some basketball games with them, getting to also have a bit of a shopping spree where they got to, courtesy of Atlanta Dream and Albert, personal financial app, have gotten the chance to pick out some shoes and some other items for themselves here. But all of these girls, really special girls. This is really the only middle school in the country, they say, that serves exclusively tuition-free refugee girls, and it's right here in Decatur. And I've got Morgan here, President and COO of Atlanta Dream. And tell me a little bit about this partnership that you guys have with the Global Village Project.
Well, this is such a special day. We get to partner with the Global Village Project. They've been around for more than 17 years, and these are immigrant and refugee girls. And we found this school, and we really wanted to adopt them with the help of our partner, Albert. We are here today to teach them a little bit about basketball, but the three pillars that the Atlanta Dream is built upon is growing the game of basketball, it's empowering girls and women, and creating equity for all. And so this is a perfect opportunity for us to jump in, give these girls a little bit of confidence on their, I think, second day of school. And some of them, it's, they've only been in this country for a few short weeks. So this is a really critical time to expand their confidence, to really give them a boost and tell them, hey, we're here to support them, and they can see other strong women doing amazing things, not only on the court, but also in the boardroom, behind the scenes in the office. But it really starts with an incredible education. And these educators here, these teachers here, and these administrators are doing an absolutely phenomenal job. So we're here, we're excited to partner with them, and we're excited to give them a little monetary boost as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A little donation will be announced here a little bit later for the school, which it's a nonprofit. They, of course, need that. And these girls, when you see them kind of having fun here and getting to partner with you guys and the excitement, tell me a little bit about that, how that makes you all feel.
It really does connect to the core purpose of why we exist at the Atlanta Dream. From the get-go, you see that these women are already so brave to be able to jump in this environment that's new for them, to be able to be first-timers in the United States, to be able to feel embraced. I was told by one of the administrators that one of the young girls, she hadn't seen a smile on her face until today, when she was able to come in and purchase a pair of shoes, to get a few notebooks, and to prepare for school with backpacks and things like that. Small things that we can easily give through the help of our sponsors like Albert, who at the end of the day truly care about giving back to the community. We thrive in bringing outsized impact through small organizations, and this is one of those opportunities.
Yeah. These girls, like you're talking about the smiles, they've had big smiles here today playing and watching them. Morgan, thanks for joining us here. So I'm going to hang out with these girls a little bit more through the afternoon as they participate in more activities, and they had a little bit of a shopping spree. That was fun to watch, watching them get to pick out a pair of shoes, Nike shoes, and some other items for school as they get started here on their second day. And second day in a new building. This is a brand new building for this school here, and all the teachers and administrators are very, very excited, and of course the students as well. So back to you, Tyler.
Yeah, Chris, certainly great that they're doing that. It looks like a fun afternoon. We'll be checking with you in just about an hour for the latest on what is happening there. Chris Rosenthal, thanks so much. And let's talk about this. Let's take a trip now to 207 Peachtree. It's an entertainment, dining, and event venue which houses a half a dozen unique concepts. And our Paul Milliken got to check it out this morning.
The burger, I'm serious.
I can't wait till you
don't do it.
I
don't want you to get sick, Tim. I care about you.
In the middle of this song,
I care for you.
I'm going to snatch
you. You want to go to Grady or you want to go to Piedmont?
All right. Look, I used your EpiPen on myself already.
We apparently may have had the wrong piece of video there. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get it for you. That was clearly a take before the one that he was supposed to do for us, talking about this unique concept at 207 Peachtree. Obviously, lots of new restaurants there and kind of showing us all of that. It happened on Good Day Atlanta this morning on our website, fox5atlanta.com. You can check it all out, and I believe we now have the right piece of video.
Well, let me tell you, there are days when I'm happy to come to work, and then there are days when I am ecstatic to come to work. Guess what kind of day I'm having right now? With a spread of food like this, I have never been more pleased. We're hanging out right now in the upstairs portion of 207 Peachtree, which is a big entertainment, food, and event venue. And inside, there are a couple of concepts. One of them is Peachtree Sporting Club, and that's where we are right now. It is a next-level sports bar where you can watch sports on the big screens, you can play sports in the bays, and then, of course, you can eat to your heart content. You can competitive eat like I do every day, thanks to the one and only Chef Scott. It's great to see you, man. How are you?
Thank you, Paul. I'm doing fantastic.
Well, I'm better than you are because you cooked me all this food, okay?
Well, we knew you were coming.
Thank you.
I'm going to get plenty to talk about.
You heard about our reputation. Yeah, well, let's go down the line. The food looks amazing. It tastes even better. Let's go with the starters to begin.
All right, let's start there.
Yeah.
So this is our fried green tomato platter, which we use a locally sourced pimento cheese. We make an in-house smoked bacon bourbon jam to finish that off. Some pepperdew peppers there. This is our smokehouse flatbread. There's some smoked chicken, our house-made barbecue sauce. And then we go over to our wings here, right? Our wings are very well known for our wings. We do a 3-day process on this, a 2-day brine. Then we slow roast them and then crisp fry them.
Yeah, and we were saying before, the pressure is on with wings. You're in Atlanta. You need to have good ones.
You have to have really good wings, yes. And so we've had a lot of success with these. We're very proud of these.
I bet you have. They look amazing. And then you got sliders back here, too.
We have a variety of different sliders that we do here. These are two of our best. We have our Nashville chicken, which has a nice heat to it with our sweeter Vidalia onion coleslaw, keeping that southern theme there. We have our cheeseburger sliders, very classic. And you see everything we got coming here comes with the trio of fries.
Yeah, well, let's explain that trio of fries, because I was looking at these when they came out. I saw the curly fries. I saw the waffle fries. I saw the regular kind of steak cut French fries. This is basically because you just couldn't decide.
We could not decide which one we like, so we said, let's give it all to them.
It's genius. I'm telling you, this is the smartest decision you could have made. Now, this looked a little bit more full a few minutes ago, but I ate half of this. So what did I eat?
I know you couldn't help yourself there.
No, I could not.
This is definitely one of our most popular items, the Happy G, named after Happy Gilmore. We shave the ribeye in-house here, a quick sear, classic American cheese, a little bit of mayo on there.
And it is so good.
And the au jus dip, so it kind of sits right in between a steak and cheese and a French dip.
Yeah, it's very cool. Okay, now we got to go to the burgers. We love a burger here at Fox 5 Atlanta. Oh, you got a good smash burger, right?
We do, yes. We use 2 Angus beef patties that are smashed together, and we stack this up all the way with cheese and bacon.
Oh, man, that looks so good.
Burger sauce as well. We're very proud of that one.
Okay, will you tell me off camera what's in the secret burger?
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay, so he could tell me.
You'll get it off camera, apparently. If you head to our website, fox5atlanta.com, and click on the Good Day section, you'll be able to see more of that story from this morning, where they're talking about 207 Peachtree. That's in downtown Atlanta, a new concept down there with multiple restaurant concepts. And that is going to do it for us for Fox 5 News at 1 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. At the top of the hour, Ariel Onstott will be joining you with the latest headlines, weather, and everything you need to know. I'm Tyler Fingert. Thanks for joining us. We're back at the top of the hour.
Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for checking in with us here at 2 o'clock. It is great to see you. Let's go through the news of the day. I see some of you asking questions here on TikTok, YouTube. I'm going to work your stories in. Someone's asking about a Sydney Star update. It looks like Eric is asking, so I will work to get that in. I actually have a story on the latest there here upcoming, so stay tuned. In the meantime, let's start with a situation that unfolded in Dunwoody. We're learning more after a person was heard after a shooting, and this all started from a crash in a parking deck. If this sounds pretty wild, let's get into it. This happened early this morning, leaving a man wounded in the foot, according to the Dunwoody Police Department. They responded to the 4000 block of Dunwoody Park after two vehicles crashed in the parking deck of the Drift Dunwoody apartments. Police learned that a woman was in one car while two men were in the other. Investigators say the drivers started arguing after the collision, prompting the woman to call her boyfriend to come to the scene. When the boyfriend arrived, the dispute escalated, and they say the boyfriend pulled out a gun and fired two shots at the two men, striking one in the foot. Authorities have not released the names of the people involved, nor have they confirmed whether any criminal charges are going to be filed. I would imagine that would be coming, but we'll keep you updated as we get any new information on this. So, in the meantime, let's take you out to Forsyth County. We're learning more about a manhunt there. Our Ray Urena joining us live here with this story. And Ray, what can you share with us here this afternoon?
Actually happened last Thursday on July 30th. And I want to go ahead and just start the B-roll, if we can, side by side here, because deputies were able to arrest D'Anthony Norman on July 30th after about a 3.5-hour manhunt. Now, this all started, according to video released by the sheriff's office, with a simple traffic stop that was caused because they saw Norman allegedly holding his cell phone in his hand. Deputies say that they were in the square of downtown Cumming because they've had a lot of incidents with people driving distracted and running red lights there. And then as soon as the deputy pulls up behind Norman, you can see that Norman does take off down the street. And now, if you're not familiar with downtown Cumming, the square here has the Forsyth County Jail, it has the Forsyth County Courthouse. So Norman takes a couple turns, and then a little bit down the road, about 42 seconds into the video, Norman stomps on the brakes and tries to bail out of the car. The problem is that Norman did not put the car in park when he bailed out of that car. So you see him getting out, trying to get out of the car, and then the car continues rolling. and you can see Norman with 1 foot out of the car and 1 foot on the brake pedal trying to get the car to stop and put it in park because he had a passenger with him who deputies simply identified as a significant other. He had a woman in the car, passenger next to him, so he takes off, he gives up trying to put the car in park and runs down the hill towards a business and that sort of thing. We went by that location, and that's in the area of a cemetery and in what looks like a car lot. And so Norman takes off, and the deputy stops the vehicle. The passenger was able to grab the handle of the SUV there, jam it into park, and you can see the car lurch forward when she does that. She was able to jam it in the park, and the deputy was able to detain that one woman. Now, at about so that was the first day, and now deputies called in canines, drones, other deputies, and law enforcement agencies to help out in this search. And for their first search, they were not able to find Mr. Norman. They say that that he was able to escape. So they backed off the pressure, but left some undercover units behind. At about 1 o'clock, Captain Tom Little, he says he saw Norman talking to a truck driver outside an Advanced Auto Parts store just down the block and down the hill from where he initially was last seen. And then once Norman saw the police officers pulling up, Norman actually ran off, according to Captain Little and the video. He ran off into the kudzu that's behind that Advanced Auto Parts, and he was able to try and hide from the drones, the canines, and the responding officers. But the officers say due to how thick the kudzu was, there was a lot of branches that were moving, so they were able to quickly take him into custody. Now, people at home might be wondering, why did Norman run? Well, according to the sheriff's office, they say he was wanted on a probation violation for an aggravated assault with a weapon out of Walton County, so he had an outstanding warrant. Plus, a couple days beforehand, he was actually out on a separate bond after an arrest in Pickens County, Georgia. So along with all these warrants, there were other charges that deputies here for Forsyth County charged Norman with. Right now, he's still in the jail, but we talked to Captain Tom Little about this arrest, and here's what he had to say.
Although the warrant would have been addressed in addition to a very small traffic citation for the hands-free device, and then having to handle your warrant is uncomfortable, but it's better than getting charges like reckless driving and fleeing and attempting to elude officers and other associated charges that just complicate the matter unnecessarily.
Yeah, so Norman, right now, as I just previously mentioned, he's still at the Forsyth County Jail, and the Sheriff's Office actually posted that video that we just showed you on their Facebook, and so far has gotten more than 5,000 likes, Ariel.
Incredible video to witness, Ray, because we don't often have a bird's eye view of a chase and an arrest like that, so really incredible to witness. Some people here in our TikTok chat are asking, what was he running for? And is that the central question here, why he even took off in the first place?
Yeah, as I mentioned before we tossed to that soundbite, he was wanted on a probation violation out of Walton County for aggravated assault with a weapon. He was also just had an arrest out of Pickens County just a couple days before for possession of a firearm by a felon. So he already had an outstanding warrant on him, and that's why deputies say he ran for them. So what turned out to be a simple traffic stop for a cell phone turned into this manhunt because deputies say he had that outstanding warrant from another county.
From a bad situation, unfortunately, to a worse situation, Ray. Thanks so much for joining us with the latest on this. We'll see you again later this evening with anything new that you're able to learn. In the meantime, Ray, I'll let you get back to getting information for your story, so thanks so much. Guys, let's take you out to Smyrna, where right now police are searching for what they believed is an armed and dangerous gunman. Ultimately, this is the man that they're looking for. You can see on the left side of your screen. They believe he fired 5 times into a Smyrna area apartment building last Wednesday. This happened at the Alcove Apartments located in the 2000 block of Atlanta Road Southeast on July 29th. And according to the Smyrna Police Department, officers responded to the scene after a report of shots being fired. Investigators found the gunman had took off before they even got there. No one was hurt, but the incident left residents rattled, as you might believe. You're just in your apartment, you're having a nice evening, and then all of a sudden you hear gunfire. Investigators released that image that you saw. They believe he's in his teens or early 20s, and he is seen in that image holding a rifle. Let's go ahead, let's take it full so you can get another look at him. The man was wearing a light gray hoodie with a sweatshirt and or light gray hooded sweatshirt with a drawstring and wearing dark pants, also wearing white shoes. Authorities do believe he is armed and dangerous, so they say if you see him, call 911. They have not confirmed a motive for the shooting or whether that gunman was trying to target anyone in that complex specifically, but if you have any information, you can call Detective Elliott at the Smyrna Police Department. That is a person, or that is the detective on the case that you should ask for. In the meantime, let's talk about this crazy situation. You may have already seen video of this on social media or here on Fox Local. This happened also in Smyrna. Smyrna police are also searching for a man who they believe pistol whipped a driver after a road rage incident escalated into a violent attack in late June. Here's what we know. This traffic dispute started in the middle of the day near Cumberland Boulevard and Cobb Parkway when one car cut off another car. Both drivers continued down the road, but a man in his 50s driving a black car noticed a silver vehicle following him into his apartment complex. When the man walked up to the silver car to talk to the passenger, police say a physical fight broke out. According to Smyrna Police Lieutenant Meredith Holt, the passenger punched the driver in the face multiple times, knocked him to the ground, and pistol whipped him with a gun. Take a listen to what the lieutenant has to say.
The driver of Vehicle 1 was beaten pretty badly, pistol whipped with a firearm, and he sustained significant injuries, one that required him to have a surgery.
Just incredible. You can see after the man was whipped there with the gun, he lies on the ground for a minute getting his bearings. Ultimately, the female driver of the silver car, identified as 18-year-old Haley Kirkpatrick, got out during that attack. You can see her there, but eventually drove away with the passenger. The victim staggered to his feet before collapsing again and was taken to the hospital for surgery. Investigators have not identified that male passenger who carried out the assault, and they've released a photo of Kirkpatrick along with this video as they're trying to identify him. They say that he will face charges of aggravated assault and aggravated battery. So really incredible. Some of you guys here in the chat just talking about this situation, saying calm down. I would have to agree with you. This is no good. You know, at the same time, you may feel frustrated driving in traffic, or if you get cut off, is it really worth what you're witnessing now? So always appreciate your comments in the conversation, you guys. We have here Marie Bella J chiming in as per usual, talking a little bit about this situation. We had a viewer asking about the latest regarding the Sydney Star situation, so let me tell you the latest details that we do know here into our newsroom. At this point, the latest information is that reality personality Sydney Star is facing multiple charges. That is the latest update. We know that Sydney Favors, who also goes by Sydney Star, was taken into custody after an incident at the Embassy Suites in the 3400 block of International Boulevard. Police charged Favors with sodomy, sexual battery against a child under 16, and aggravated child molestation as a result of this investigation. Now, Favors is still at the Fulton County Jail as authorities move forward with the case. According to police, the investigation has been turned over to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office for prosecution. Specific details surrounding the allegations have not been made public by law enforcement. They say because this case involves a juvenile, no additional information is going to be released at this time. That is according to the Hapeville Police Department, who is investigating and has turned their evidence over to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. The backstory here, if you're unfamiliar with who Sydney Star or Sydney Favors is a transgender model who's built a notable career in entertainment, according to TMZ, and has appeared on several TV programs, including Baddies, Baddies ATL, Star, and Empire, ultimately facing multiple felony charges. We will keep you updated as this progresses forward, but that is what we know so far. Let's talk about this incredible situation. our Angelique Proctor is planning to join us live at 3 o'clock to talk about this. But let's go ahead and get the conversation now, because put yourself in this woman's shoes. Let's go through this. Cassandra Barksdale is filing a lawsuit against Kaiser Permanente and lab staff after she says she had a total hysterectomy over a cancer misdiagnosis. So let's get into it. She says that a lab staff at Kaiser mislabeled a tissue sample, and this led to an unnecessary total hysterectomy. She is ultimately suing multiple Kaiser Permanente entities and laboratory staff, and Cassandra Barksdale is 43 years old. She's filed this lawsuit in the State Court of Clayton County today against the Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of Georgia and multiple other entities. Now, the filing claims Barksdale sought treatment for uterine fibroids and bleeding at Kaiser Permanente Southwoods Comprehensive Medical Center in Jonesboro in early 2025 before a March 10th, 2025 biopsy led to an incorrect diagnosis of aggressive endometrial uterine cancer. Now, based on the lab findings, Barksdale was referred to a specialist at Northside Hospital and underwent a total hysterectomy May 15th of last year. Surgeons removed her cervix, uterus, fallopian tubes, ovaries, and 4 lymph nodes. Although post-surgical lab reports showed no malignancy, staff informed her in July 2025 that she had cancer and needed to await further instructions. That's according to the lawsuit. Then September of last year, Kaiser Permanente administrators admitted to Barksdale that DNA testing revealed the cancerous tissue belonged to someone else. Quest Diagnostics formally notified her in December of last year to disregard her initial biopsy results. Keep in mind, those were the biopsy results that led to her having a total hysterectomy. The lawsuit is alleging chain of custody failures and negligence, demanding a jury trial for compensatory damages over $10,000 alongside legal fees. Barksdale's being represented by Atlanta attorneys Roderick Edmond, Shannon Young, and Clark Edmond of the Edmond firm. You can see her standing with her attorneys there at the podium. They're saying after 4 months, almost 4 months, Mrs. Barksdale waited in fear and anguish for her next instructions about her supposed cancer treatment. Legal counsel added that the trauma that she has endured is because of negligence on part of the staff. So we've reached out to Kaiser for a comment, and we have yet to hear back. As soon as we get their side of the story, we're going to update our article on Fox 5 Atlanta. We will also keep you updated right here on Fox Local. So we will continue to talk about that as we get that information. Some of you here weighing in on the comments on that situation and talking about how you'd feel if you went through something like this. Really, really awful situation. I do agree. So let's continue along. Speaking of awful situations, let's talk about what's unfolding at one Atlanta apartment complex. Some residents there say they are being trapped by trash. Yeah, a massive pileup of trash at a Northwest Atlanta apartment complex has left residents frustrated and annoyed, as you might imagine. They say that their living conditions are deteriorating and there are pest infestations. This is at the Magnolia Park Apartments in Northwest Atlanta, and they say an overflowing dumpster right outside their doors has looked like a landfill for months. The growing mountain of refuse includes discarded mattresses, chairs, household garbage, piled high on top of the container. The physical garbage is creating severe health and safety hazards for nearby families. Residents report dealing with severe infestations of flies, gnats, rats, snakes, and raccoons that are causing daily distress. One woman describes how she and her young granddaughter are getting eaten alive by bugs inside their own home, explaining they feel completely stuck because rising city rents are making moving impossible on top of a fixed Social Security income. Listen to what she had to share.
Ain't no more Section 8 or no more based on income in Atlanta no more. If you ain't paying $1,200 and up for rent, you're stuck. I can't afford to get out of here. I'm on Social Security, fixed income once a month.
At this point, it's unclear exactly when the trash compactor is going to be fully repaired and brought back into full operation. Property management has said that a contractor is scheduled to work on the compactor, but officials have not confirmed a timeline for that complete cleanup or pest extermination. It's also unknown what specific legal or programmatic actions Atlanta Housing is going to take against these property owners. The Housing Authority has not explained whether it plans to levy financial penalties, revoke housing assistance vouchers, or force a mandatory remediation plan. All of these are questions we're working to figure out, but you can imagine this is incredibly frustrating for people who are living here who want to make their living space better. Sherry Mitchell, who we spoke with, said that she's working to try to clean things up a little bit as she can, but you can see from all of this trash overflowing, it's a pretty impossible situation. We will keep you updated as we continue to look into this. Keep in mind, property management at Magnolia Park declined to speak on camera, but did state over the phone that they took over the property 2 months ago. Management claims that crews are working around the clock to fix a long list of neglected issues, starting with a massive renovation project, and they are going to schedule a contractor to come and repair that trash compactor. So we will keep you updated as that moves forward. In the meantime, you guys, let's take you out nationally and talk about what's happening on Capitol Hill, because at this point, the Senate Judiciary Committee has advanced acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General. The committee has voted 12-10 along party lines to pass President Trump's nomination for Attorney General. Blanche was the president's former personal attorney, representing him in his hush money case and federal election obstruction case, and now he is going to hold the top law enforcement position here in our government, potentially. He has aggressively pushed for the Trump administration's priorities since replacing Attorney General Pam Bondi. The full Senate may vote on Blanche's nomination later this week, and of course we'll keep you updated right here on Fox Local when that happens. I also do want to let you know that 5 states are holding primaries today. So as we look ahead to the midterm elections, talking a little bit about what the future of the midterm elections could look like will be based on primaries here. And while we've already seen primaries here in Georgia, let's talk about the states in like Michigan and Missouri that are voting on key candidates today. We understand Democratic voters are choosing between 2 very different directions for their party. Democratic voters in the Midwest are going to decide whether to push their party further towards socialism or back towards the center, with progressive and moderate candidates facing off in key primaries. In Michigan, far-left candidate Abdul Sayed is up against Congresswoman Haley Stevens, a moderate, for the Democratic nomination for the state's open U.S. Senate seat. El Sayed supporters are supporting defunding ICE, universal health care, and ending arms sales to Israel. Stevens is making the case she's the stronger general election candidate and the stronger candidate to beat Republicans in November. Stevens is endorsed by the state's popular governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and retiring Senator Gary Peters, whose seat she is trying to win, whereas El Sayed is backed by every member of the squad and Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders, although he's tried to distance himself from the socialist label. Over in Missouri, Democrat Socialist Cori Bush is taking on Congressman Wesley Bell in a high-stakes rematch to represent the St. Louis area. Bush lost her House seat to Bell 2 years ago, a defeat many saw as a rejection of her progressive agenda and anti-Israel views. More voters are weighing in on this debate, socialism specifically, and the future of the Democratic Party next week, with key primaries in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Connecticut. So we will keep you updated as that progresses. Guys, taking a look here upcoming, I want to bring you closer to home. We're going to chat with meteorologist Alex Forbes about what to expect with your weather forecast. I'm looking outside right now and it looks really dark. Kind of an indication that storms could be on the way for later today. We're going to chat with Alex about the future coming up. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt here with meteorologist Alex Forbes. Alex, we have had some really beautiful weather here, but as is the case in Georgia, today I feel like, are back to kind of the stormy pattern.
Right, and the storms have had some enhancement today across the metro area. There's what you call an upper level low in the neighborhood, which means it's easier to get that summertime activity going. And when we get it going, there's a whole lot of moisture for it to work with. And that's exactly what we've seen in the metro. We still have a flash flood warning in effect for part of the area right now. This is a radar loop over the last hour, but I tell you what, I'm going to switch this to the last, we'll say 3 hours, and you're going to see the storms kind of fester, pop up over metro Atlanta, and then spread out in all different directions, right? You get a batch moving up towards the north and west, up towards Cartersville and Bartow County. Then you get the batch from metro Atlanta lifting up towards Gwinnett, and it really growing over Walton and Rockdale counties right now. And the result is, if I flip this over to the rainfall, you just see that kind of expand out of the metro. Anytime you get into that green color there, that's at least a ½ inch of rain. And when you get into the yellows, that's at least 2 inches of rain. And that's what we've seen right along I-75 in the Buckhead area and up on the west side, right along DeForest Ferry Road and up towards Wesley Road and Northside Parkway, and really to the west of Howell Mill, but still a good amount of rain right there in and around Howell Mill. And then some more back up towards Kennesaw and Marietta. That's going to be right there along Town Center Mall and in towards Barrett Parkway, over 2 inches of rain in that general area. And then back down in towards southwest DeKalb. That's going to be right there at the 675 split, not too far away from Boulder Crest Road and Conley. And then over in the Panthersville area along, that's going to be Candler Road and lifting up towards Glenwood Hills and Eastlake over the last little while. So that's kind of where things stand now. We do have, I'm going to show you this real quick, some power outages that are worth mentioning. We're 1,000 people without power in Fulton County, 400 in Cobb, 600 in DeKalb, and 100 people without power there in Paulding County. Now, the airport has also been a problem spot. Oh, I knew this wasn't going to work. This computer is having a day, I tell you what. But delays are up to about 2 hours in count. Okay. So I don't need a map to show you that. I can tell you the delays are 2 hours, right? So for the remainder of the afternoon, showers and storms will be around, and you might be noticing that there are more showers and storms today than yesterday. However, that is not the case on Lake Lanier yet. You can kind of see the clouds growing in the distance, though, as we look live. So our rain chance for the remainder of the day sits at 60%, 70% for tomorrow, 60% on Thursday, and then just kind of back to that usual summertime stuff towards the end of the week. And the weekend, high temperatures at or just below the average. Okay, good to know. I have to say, seeing 80s, as crazy as it is, and lows in the 70s makes me so excited. And I'm going to keep saying this because it's what makes people give me a 2 thumbs up. We could be 100 degrees, and we're not. So let's do this while we can, because anytime it's the first week of August, and not only that, it doesn't feel like it's 100 degrees outside either, right? It could be 95, 96, 97 with it feels like a 105. None of that. Let's keep this going. I remember last year, August kind of did a quick fake, very, very mild fake fall, because fake fall is too strong a term to use. Right. But just compared to what we've been experiencing, it gets everyone thinking like, oh my goodness, we're in the month where pumpkin spice lattes are going to be released. That is true. And you might remember back to school last year was weird, right? Yes. The overnight lows were in the 60s. There were some people with jackets on and like, yeah, this is August. But crazy. This year's normal, if not just below. Okay, Alex, thanks so much. I'll let you go. Guys, let's continue on here. I want to take you out to Spokane, Washington, where we're getting more information about an arrest that has been made in connection with one of several wildfires that has destroyed hundreds of structures and forced tens of thousands of people to evacuate the Spokane area. The fires are still uncontained. The Spokane County Sheriff says Aaron Farinacci has been arrested on suspicion of first-degree arson. He's accused of sparking the Old Trails fire, the largest of the 3 wildfires burning in the area. And investigators say citizen tips actually helped lead to his arrest. The sheriff says Farinacci was initially questioned and released, but as evidence mounted, he emerged as the primary suspect. The fire started Saturday, eventually jumping over the Spokane River, destroying homes and forcing evacuations. And officials warn the public about flying drones in the area because they say firefighters need all of the help that they can get, and the drones aren't helping in this regard. For many families, the damage is just overwhelming, and they've lost everything, as you can see from some of these images. More than 1,000 out-of-state firefighters are helping to battle wildfires in the state, with another 1,000 expected to arrive this week. So we will keep you updated as this progresses forward. In the meantime,
let's talk about Lindsay Clancy. She is the woman on trial accused of killing her 3 young children. She spoke in court for the first time today. She answered a series of questions from the judge after formally agreeing to stipulating certain facts in the case. The stipulation means that Clancy would be giving up some rights to challenge witnesses and relieve the prosecution from having to prove some of the listed facts. Take a listen to this exchange as it unfolded in the courtroom.
Clancy, my understanding is that you, through counsel, have offered to stipulate to certain facts that would be introduced during the course of this trial. Do you understand that the Commonwealth, in this case, is required to prove each and every element of the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You understand that there are certain facts that could be introduced during the course of the trial that would might support the Commonwealth's position regarding those elements. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you understand that by signing the stipulation, you're agreeing that the Commonwealth does not have to prove these certain facts that are contained in the stipulation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And do you understand by signing or going along with that stipulation, you are basically relieving the Commonwealth of its burden to prove those certain facts? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is that what you want to do at this point?
Yes.
All right. Have you gone over this stipulation or the summary of the stipulations with Attorney Reddington?
Yes, I have.
All right. Need any more time to do that?
No, thank you.
All right. No, by entering into this stipulation, you're giving up some important rights. So I kind of want to go over those with you at this time. Do you understand, by law, you're presumed to be innocent of each charge against you, and you do not have to prove your innocence. All right. So instead, at trial, the Commonwealth, as I said to you before, has the burden of proving you are guilty of each element of the charges against you. And by entering into this stipulation, you're giving up your right to force the Commonwealth to prove the facts that are contained in these stipulations. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also, at trial, where we are now, you have the right to confront the witnesses that would testify about these facts. And by entering into this stipulation, you're giving up that right with respect to these stipulated facts. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also, if you wanted to, could call your own witnesses at the trial to contest these stipulated facts if you wanted to. You understand you'd be giving up that right by entering into this stipulation.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also, at trial, have the right to remain silent and cannot be forced to testify at this. You understand, by entering into this stipulation, you're giving up in a limited way that right with respect to just those facts.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Are you doing this willingly and voluntarily?
Yes, I am.
All right. Has anyone forced you or threatened you to enter into this stipulation?
No, Your Honor.
Are you? All right. I make the following findings. I find that Ms. Clancy has knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily, and willingly entered into the stipulation of the facts that are contained and summarized in Exhibit J for identification. I find that she is competent to enter into this stipulation. I find she understands the consequences of entering into this stipulation. So accordingly, I now accept the proposed stipulation of facts. Thank you.
So some of you are asking, what is happening in court today? Basically, Lindsay Clancy addressed the courtroom for the first time. This was not a plea deal. This was her stipulating certain facts of the case as true. It relieves prosecutors of the burden of having to go through and prove certain aspects because she is now agreeing that, yes, this did really happen. Ultimately, Clancy's defense attorneys are arguing that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis at the time of the killings in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Clancy faces life in prison if convicted, and if found guilty by reason of lack of criminal responsibility, she would be committed to a state mental health facility. We will continue to keep you updated as this case moves forward. Her name is Lindsay Clancy, for those who are asking, and this case is currently unfolding in Massachusetts. Let's bring you a little closer to home here. We've heard a lot of discussion about flock cameras here in the state of Georgia, specifically how they are being misused by members of law enforcement who have now either resigned or been fired from their roles for using these cameras. Our Doug Evans is working on a story today where deputies have resigned over flock camera misuse. Doug, thanks so much for joining us for the conversation. I know you're working to get some elements and are going to join us again later this evening. What are you learning so far?
Well, one point of clarification off the top, we don't know that these were deputies. We know that they were employees of the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office has deputies, yes, they have jailers, but they also have a lot of civilian workers as well. So the press release that was issued by the Coweta County Sheriff's Office this morning said simply employees. Now, there are employees other than deputies that have access to the flock camera system. So that's just a point of clarification. All right, so we have 3 employees here at the Sheriff's Office in Coweta County that have asked to resign after an internal audit by this department of its flock camera use. The use of the cameras by these 3 employees apparently was flagged during this audit. We're told that they were brought in to meet with their supervisors, and during the discussions with the supervisors, all 3 employees asked to resign. The Sheriff's Office says that it is asking the GBI now to step in and conduct an internal investigation. Now, typically that means if there is anything that warrants prosecution, that will get turned over to the Coweta County District Attorney for that. Now, let me tell you what the Sheriff's Office is saying about it. And the Sheriff's Office says its employees are entrusted with access to sensitive law enforcement technology and information. It's said also that their employees need to be lawful and they need to be ethical in the use of that technology, that they take the public's trust very seriously to use that technology in the right way. And the Sheriff's Office says that it will be providing training to all of its employees that have access to the flock camera system. And listen, if you guys don't know what a flock camera system is, let's just have kind of a primer here, okay? I've been to the flock factory in Atlanta. Flock cameras were actually invented by a Georgia Tech grad who had their car stolen, and talked to Atlanta police about how can we catch these people. They told him, gave him the idea. This guy invented the flock camera. So you see that car behind me right there. That's a Sheriff's Department car. But let's say it was just your average citizen. What a flock camera does, it reads the license plate, all right? So it would read that license plate. The other thing that it does, and it's pretty smart about this, is it will also record the make and model and color of that car. It knows cars by their shape, so it would know that that's a Chevy. I'm not sure of the make of that. It doesn't say because it's a law enforcement car. It could be either a Tahoe or a Suburban. The flock camera system would know absolutely. So in addition to recording all of that stuff, right, in a database, it would also let officers immediately know. So that, let's say this car passes down the street and there's an officer there and they're logged into the flock system. It would ping on the deputy's car on his computer or her computer, and it would tell them if that driver has a warrant for their arrest. It would tell them if that car is not insured. It would give them all kinds of information, and then the deputy could pull out and pull that person over.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of debate right now, Ariel, and these cameras have been around, I don't know, 2017 or more. So people are very concerned about their civil liberties and stuff like that. and calling into question the misuse of this technology by some departments.
Doug, it's really interesting debate because, the essence of it is we want to understand whether or not these cameras can improve safety and security, but at what point, right, is the scale tipped? You want it to be equal, and if you're giving up some liberties, maybe you get more crimes solved, but are you giving up too many liberties in exchange for not enough crime being solved? And then the risk of misuse sounds like these all are part of the issues that people are experiencing right now. The Washington Post just came out with an article saying that more than 50 law enforcement officers have been charged so far nationwide, accused of misusing flock camera systems. And I know here in Georgia we rely on them so heavily. If you look at a map of flock camera systems across the United States, Georgia is one of the most featured. But at the same time, there are some concerns. So I'm really excited to watch your piece tonight.
Yeah, and I think, Ariel, it's really interesting to me as a former technology reporter in another life. People are concerned, and I get that, but this is really old technology that's been around forever. When you drive in and out of the airport, there's a license plate reader that reads your license going in and going out. The cameras in the airport have facial recognition software. They know that you've entered the airport. They know when you get there. They know every area that you visit, and they know when you leave. If you have an app on your smartphone, right now, if your smartphone is on right now, there are any number of apps on your smartphone that you have given permission to track your whereabouts, and then those companies sell that information to anyone who can afford to buy it. Not just retailers, they can sell it to the government as well.
Yeah.
It's how your insurance company knows the mileage of your car. It knows how many times you've changed your oil. So our information is out there, not just where our car has been, but where we have been as well.
Yeah, Doug, it is a good point, and I think people are questioning who should have access to their data and at what cost. So looking forward to the conversation later this evening. Doug, thanks so much for joining us live. As we continue here, you guys, we have more news, so stay tuned. I'm Ariel Onstop. More to come. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being here. So let's get into this question I have for you guys. Would you receive your packages via drone? How does that make you feel? Because the future is coming here in Atlanta, and a new company, Zipline, is testing drone delivery. Our Maria Guzman got to see a demonstration live. Maria, it is great to see you. I understand they could hold packages up to 5 pounds.
Yes, that's right, Ariel. It's up to 8 pounds, and they can fly up to 300 feet. And those drones right here, you just asked how people would feel. I would feel okay with it. There's been times where I've been sick and I'm too ill to even drive and go get some medication. So a drone like this can help in those instances. So right now, these drones are in their dock and they're charging. And before they go in the air, they run about 500 safety checks before they fly that 300 feet. But I got a chance to speak with the spokeswoman with Zipline on how it all works, and they do hope that they can bring this service to Georgia within the next year. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Download the Zipline app. You'll place your address in. So this one we're going to choose here because that is where we are today in Atlanta. And what you'll see is these are all approved and determined that they're safe to land and safe to do deliveries in. So we'll choose this one since we're standing right there. You'll go ahead and confirm that location. In commercial operations, what you'll see is an entire marketplace and a number of storefronts with our national partners or small businesses that we are partnering with in the local area. But here we have set up a storefront specifically for this use because we're not currently operational yet in Atlanta. And you'll scroll through just like you would any app. You'll place an order, load it to the cart, and you'll check out. And then just like others, it will give you updates on order received, that the team is preparing the order, and it'll often give you a countdown of how much time it's going to take for you to expect your delivery. I am holding a much smaller pod. It is attached to a larger drone that flies your delivery right to your door. That drone stays 300 feet in the air, and it lowers this smaller pod with your delivery right to your backyard. This pod, as you can see, is not as heavy as it might look. It is made something similar of styrofoam, polycarbonate, I believe. And when it goes to pick up the delivery, it will be transported inside here. We can hold up to 8 pounds worth of goods, either retail or food. And once it gets to your delivery location, the drone will remain 300 feet in the air. It'll lower this pod all the way to the ground, and it will open up the bottom and place your order very gently on the ground. So you're able to order, fragile things like eggs or, cold items or hot items, and it'll be placed very, very gently on the ground in your yard. So we partner with national retailers. We partner with a lot of local mom and pop small businesses in the areas that we operate, as well as the healthcare facilities. And in this bag, we have 5 pounds worth of groceries, so that if we're having some folks over for a backyard barbecue and needed some last minute supplies, you can go ahead and open up the Zipline app, place your order. It'll be delivered right to your yard. And you'll see in here, we've got some hot dogs, some potato salad, some green beans, everything that you might need for maybe a last minute get together.
So for the demonstration today, they used a bag that was worth about 5 pounds, but again, it's up to 8 pounds, and these drones are able to fly up to 10 miles as well.
Really incredible, Maria. It's like the future is now. We are seeing this in real time. I have a lot of questions about how this is supposed to work. I know they're testing it now, but how does it work? Could the drones potentially drop a package? What does it look like if it's raining or severe weather? All questions I'm sure that the company will be figuring out here in the coming phases of testing. So, Maria, thank you. I will let you get back to it. We'll see you again at 3 o'clock. And in the meantime, you guys, let's continue on here. I want to check in with our Chris Rosenthal because a school that helps refugee girls here in Atlanta has just gotten a massive investment from the Atlanta Dream and some others, it sounds like, Chris. So how is this going to help them?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm at the Global Village Project here in Decatur. Really special school. They're a unique school, and the only ones like this. They have 46 students, refugee girls that they teach and get them ready for high school. You know, really a special project that they do. They've been doing this for about 18 years, and it's the start of a new school year for them. Second day of school, and a lot of big things happening here. They have a new building, a new facility here, which is wonderful. And then today they got a special visit from the Atlanta Dream and some folks from the Atlanta Dream team here to really interact with these students, to provide for them shoes, a bit of a shopping spree experience where they got to get some shoes and also experience some sort of mini basketball clinics, and really a fun time for them. It's a partnership between Atlanta Dream and the Global Village Project and a company called Albert that does a personal investing app. And there's also a big donation, like you said, $130,000 over the next 4 years. That's a lot of money for a nonprofit like this. And I have Leah here. She is with the Global Village Project. And tell me, you know, what is this donation? What does this mean to this school here?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Global Village Project, this is our brand new home that we're in, just moved in about 2 weeks ago. And this investment, we're a tuition-free school, so none of our students pay any money to come here. And over the next couple of years, we're going to be growing our enrollment, doubling it from 45 students currently to up to 100 students every year. So this investment from Atlanta Dream is going to enable us to do everything that goes along with that and really allow us to just grow our impact in our area.
And you know, when they came out today and interacting with these students, what was that like to see? I mean, I know some of these students being refugees, it's maybe a little bit hard time coming out of their shell. What was that like?
It was so fun. You know, it's always it's our second day of school here, so it's just really exciting to see that, you know, the girls are just already so excited and so like wanting to interact and you know, learn about basketball and all the wonderful things that the Dream is doing. It was really fun to just see them excited, doing the chants, just really fired up to support the Dream and to learn more about what the Dream does.
Absolutely. It really important for the mission here.
Yeah, and our missions are very alike here. You know, the Dream believes in equity for all, making sure that everybody has a fair shot. And for our students, they come from all over the world. A lot of them, you know, didn't have access to education in their home country or missed out on years of school. So that's just a really perfect alignment between our two missions.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks so much for joining us, Lee. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, students here this year, I think from 10 different countries, about 11 different languages. You know, and it doesn't just stop here. Atlanta Dream says they're going to, you know, continue with these students, and they'll have opportunities for them to come to games and come meet with some of the players, come meet with some of the staff, and get to see sort of behind the scenes of what it's like to you know, run a basketball team, if you will, and you know, really an incredible opportunity for these young girls here.
Chris, such wonderful work from the Global Village Project, and I love the fact that the Atlanta Dream is getting involved, Albert as well, and I can't wait to see what these girls do as they get more opportunities here in Atlanta. So Chris Rosenthal, thank you so much. We'll see you again here upcoming at 3 o'clock. As we continue here at 2, you guys, we're going to work to talk some Falcons practice knowledge with our DJ Shockley, working to bring him in, so stay tuned. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here live with us at 2 o'clock. Always a pleasure to have you guys chiming in on TikTok, YouTube, listening in on the radio, 109.7 HD2 FM. So thank you. Let's get out live to our DJ Shockley, who is at Falcons training camp or Falcons practice today. DJ, love to see you looking good in the shades and that bucket hat. What are you watching from practice today? Share it with us.
Hey, Ariel. First off, thank you for acknowledging my bucket hat. As you know, I have a bald head, so this bucket hat is up need for sure. It's nice and sunny out here. It's a nice sunny day. It's the first time that the Falcons have actually practiced at this time of day. Usually it's been in the morning time, 9:15 or so, and it's kind of cooler out, but this is the first time they got them out, and they're here in the hot sun. Now, you can see behind me, there are a lot of fans right there on the hill right there. They're taking in Falcons practice. They're enjoying it. But obviously the biggest news of the day is the Falcons have finally agreed to terms with Bijan Robinson, their all-star running back. He gets a new 3-year deal worth up to $75 million. Gets $51 million guaranteed. So seeing him back out here practice today is a huge deal. So having him back, having their core 4 guys back. They also signed Drake London. They signed Matthew Bergeron and Kyle Pitts all this offseason. So those 4 core guys over the last 3 or 4 years have been big parts of what they want to do with the organization. And to have those guys back has been big. And obviously having the catalyst at number 7 is even bigger. And head coach Kevin Stefanski had a chance to talk about his star running back earlier today. Check out what he had to say.
When you start watching tape on another team, you typically start from the beginning and go to the end. So I watched every play for the offense, defense, and special teams as I was taking this job or getting ready to take this job. And, I don't know, was it the second play or third play where he went 50 yards for a touchdown? So not long is the answer to the first part. He's wired the right way, was raised the right way. He's a team guy all the way, and that can be rare sometimes in this day and age. But it's just who he is. It's certainly authentic. And that's been my experience with him from the moment I met him here in the locker room to now. He's all about the team. I'm not participating.
And that's exactly who he is, Ariel. A guy that everybody around here loves, always has a smile on his face, and is considered one of the top backs in the entire National Football League. He led the NFL in yards from scrimmage last year, so that tells you how valuable he is. And today was the first day he actually got back on the field to do some drills. So he got back in with Bijan and with all the quarterbacks. So it's been a good day out here, Ariel, and the Falcons are going through the paces.
It seems like a great day, DJ. I know Bijan, a lot of us were like, we can't let Bijan not be on the Falcons, so we got to make sure he's a part of the team. So excited. I know it costs the Falcons a little bit, but excited to see him play. And DJ, always love our conversations. We're running out of time, but excited to see you again here upcoming at 3 o'clock. Protect the head. Keep the bucket hat on. We'll be seeing you here really soon.
Oh, I'm gonna keep it protected for sure. You know about that.
DJ, thank you. All right, guys, as we continue along, we have more news to come with Tom Haynes. He is standing by. We're getting ready to join you for 3 o'clock. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being with me here at 2.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. So happy you're joining us this afternoon. I'm Tom Haynes on this Tuesday afternoon. Got a lot of weather out there to talk about. We're going to get to meteorologist Alex Forbes here in just a couple of minutes to talk about what the rest of this work week has in store for us in terms of these showers and thunderstorms that seem to be moving through around the 1 to 2 p.m. hours. So Alex is going to be joining us here in a moment. We're also on top of some breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where President Trump has just boarded Air Force One on his way to California. You see that in the top right-hand corner of your screen. The president on a 2-day swing out west. He's going to visit Los Angeles today for a Republican National Committee fundraiser out there. He's also going to go to Las Vegas on his way back to Washington to visit the Trump National Golf Club there. On the lower right, we put up the big board of the New York Stock Exchange. Stocks up over 1,000 points today on news there might be a brokered peace agreement with Iran. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announcing this morning that there might be an agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. That sent oil prices down this afternoon. Good news for you and me in terms of prices of gas at the pump, and good news for investors as the Dow is up again over 1,000 points on the trading day. So we'll keep track of both these stories as they continue to unfold this afternoon. Want to get to one of our other breaking stories this afternoon, and that is 3 Coweta County Sheriff's employees resigning following an internal audit, we understand, into the use of law enforcement technology. Now, officials say that routine monitoring flagged several accounts using these flock cameras. Perhaps you've seen them around. The cameras are posted on these black poles with what look like a solar panel at the top of the poles. When department heads met with 3 employees to question their usage, all 3 resigned before this internal investigation could even begin. The sheriff's office has asked the GBI to conduct an independent inquiry and provide additional training to reinforce system policies. All further questions are being directed to the Dunwoody Sheriff's Office. A parking deck crash in Dunwoody has escalated into gunfire this morning, leaving 1 person shot in the foot, we understand. Annie Mapp live for us at the scene with details and exclusive viewer video, we understand. Annie, what more do we know here?
Good afternoon, Tom. This all went down here at the Drift Apartments off Dunwoody Park this morning just before 8 o'clock. Dunwoody police say they received reports of shots fired and responded to the complex to learn that there had actually been a car crash inside of a parking garage at the complex. And following that crash, a female driver and then the male driver who was in the other car got into an argument. Police say that male driver also had another man in the car with him who also engaged in that back and forth. Police say the woman then called her boyfriend to come down to the parking garage, and that's when he also went there. And according to police, he pulled out a weapon and fired towards the 2 men, hitting one of them in the foot. We spoke to neighbors. They say this woke them up early this morning. They didn't know what the sound was. Obviously not the alarm that they're used to hearing in the early hours. Take a listen at what one neighbor told us this morning.
Getting ready to go to work and her arguing, and of course I'm nosy by nature, so I looked out the window and cracked the door a little bit, and then next thing I knew, we heard shots. Four shots, pop, pop, pop.
Now, police did tell us that the crash was actually a minor crash. It's unclear what prompted these 2 individuals to then get out of their vehicles and start engaging in this altercation. But as of now, we know no one is facing charges. Police did detain the woman's boyfriend who allegedly pulled out his weapon. They say they were questioning him down at the Dunwoody Police Department. So charges are possible in the future, but as of now, no charges have been filed against anyone, nor have there their identities been released. Tom.
I'm curious about those neighbors that you spoke to and their kind of shock and surprise as to what might have happened here, guessing, just going by what they're talking about, that this sort of came out of nowhere for folks who live in that area. This argument that resulted in gunfire. Nobody wants to hear gunshots ringing out where they live. So I'm assuming that this sort of instance, this sort of encounter, this violent encounter, is quite unusual for that area.
Very unusual for this neighborhood, especially before 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, this is a time when people are possibly getting their kids ready to get out the door, where folks are headed out to work. That lady that you just heard from, she said she was getting ready for work when she started hearing loud argument from inside her apartment, and then she peeks out the window, and as you heard, she then hears those gunshots. So a lot of neighbors told us the same thing. This is something just completely rare, and a lot of them say they are waiting and hoping the apartment complex will tell them a little bit more about what happened, and again, what could have sparked this to end up with gunfire.
All right. Wow. How scary for that entire neighborhood. Annie Mapp, live in Dunwoody for us this afternoon. Annie, thanks so much. Also in the news here at 3 o'clock, want to head up to Smyrna now, where Smyrna police are asking for help identifying a man who pistol whipped a driver in a violent road rage attack there. Investigators say that a dispute started near Cobb Parkway when one car cut off another. A driver in his 50s, we understand, was followed into his apartment complex where he confronted the passenger of a silver vehicle. Well, police say that passenger punched the victim, knocked him to the ground, and then beat him with a gun. The victim suffered severe injuries that required surgery. Officers arrested the 18-year-old female driver for obstruction after she refused to name her passenger.
The driver of Vehicle 1 was beaten pretty badly, pistol whipped with a firearm, and he sustained significant injuries, one that required him to have a surgery.
So police are releasing this video in hopes that somebody recognizes the male suspect who faces aggravated assault charges. An Atlanta woman who underwent an unnecessary hysterectomy after a cancer diagnosis mix-up is now suing her health care providers. Let's get out to our Angelique Proctor, who's live on top of this story for us with the stunning details on the lawsuit that is now in the offing. We're going to talk to Angelique here in just a couple of minutes about that lawsuit. In the meantime, there is some national news to touch on this afternoon. The Senate Judiciary Committee now advancing Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General. The committee voting 12-10 along party lines to pass President Trump's nomination. Blanche was the president's former personal attorney, representing him in his hush money case and federal election obstruction case. He's aggressively pushed for the Trump administration and the priorities since replacing Pam Bondi, the former attorney general. The full Senate may vote on Blanche's nomination later this week. Well, Democratic voters in 5 states are going to head to the polls today in primaries that could shape the future direction of their party. In Michigan, progressive candidate faces off against a moderate congressman for an open U.S. Senate seat. The backing of the governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and outgoing Senator Gary Peters is supported by Senator Bernie Sanders as well and members of the so-called squad. Meanwhile, Missouri, former Congressman Cori Bush challenging Representative Wesley Bell in a high-stakes rematch in St. Louis in the area there. Voters in Wisconsin and Minnesota will cast their ballots in key primaries next week. The battle over tariffs is heating up again as a coalition of 25 states and small businesses sue to block new import taxes on 59 countries and the European Union. The Trump administration claims that the tariffs target countries that failed to crack down on forced labor, arguing taxes are helping revive American manufacturing. But economists warn that the new duties fueling an affordability crisis are changing consumer spending habits. New data shows America's trade deficit narrowed slightly to $73 billion last month after hitting a 14-month high in May, while most Capitol Hill Republicans backed the president Some acknowledge that rural communities are already feeling the financial strain. Want to come back locally here to talk about that woman who apparently was misdiagnosed with cancer after an unnecessary hysterectomy. Now she's suing her healthcare providers. Imagine being involved in a mix-up like that and getting an unnecessary procedure that could perhaps even risk your life. Any surgery is life-threatening. Let's get out to our Angelique Proctor covering this woman's harrowing story for us this afternoon. Angelique?
Good afternoon to you, Tom. The attorneys are calling this a bizarre and devastating story. It's just really hard to fathom being diagnosed with cancer only to find out 7 months later, 7 long months. She talked about all of the agony and fear that she had during that time, that no, you don't, in fact, have cancer, that it was actually someone else's tissue that was cancerous. Well, this woman is absolutely torn up by this. She cried today during this news conference. This is just a heartbreaking story about 43-year-old Cassandra Barksdale. She is a mother of 2, and she tells us that once she got the diagnosis, she really feared that she was going to die. She said that it was an erroneous diagnosis, telling her that she had an advanced case of endometrial uterine cancer. Now, Ms. Barksdale said that she went to the Southwood Kaiser Permanente office, a very popular office, to see her OBGYN because she was having fibroids and heavy bleeding. Her complaint says that the doctors took that tissue sample, but the sample from another patient with that aggressive uterine cancer was labeled as belonging to Miss Barksdale. Now, she went on to have surgery at Northside Hospital, as was recommended. It was a total hysterectomy, and she was told that she needed chemotherapy. Let's take a listen.
The first thing came to mind, I thought I was going to die. So I started researching it because when I researched it, it said that I have up to 5 years to live. I had to contact my kids to let them know that I have 5 years to live and I'm going to die because I have aggressive cancer. I started contacting other attorneys to try to get trust funds. That way I could leave my house in a trust for my kids. My sons, they went into a deep depression. It took a big hold over my family. I always said that my days was shortened. Every day it was like my days was shortened because of the aggressive cancer. And then when I received the call 7 months later stating that I didn't have the cancer, sorry.
If it's okay. Just tell them how you felt when they told you that it was somebody else's tissue.
When they told me that it wasn't nobody else's tissue, I was excited that I didn't have cancer, but I was still upset because the person out there that got my tissue and thinking that they only have fibroids, they're walking around for 7 months thinking they only have fibroids, and I was the one with the cancer. So it made me feel very, I was very angry and sad, and I was very concerned about the other person.
Now, attorneys for Ms. Barksdale say with all of the technology that we have today, this just should not have happened. They filed a lawsuit this morning at 9 o'clock this morning here in Clayton County for medical negligence. We have been reaching out to Kaiser Permanente to try to get their side of the story. I have not yet heard back. We have both called and sent emails. But the attorney says at this time, it's only Kaiser Permanente that is being identified in this lawsuit. They are not looking to file a lawsuit right now against Northside Hospital or even the lab that processed the tissue, because at this point, based on everything they have, this was an error they believe that was restricted to Kaiser Permanente. Tom?
Angelique, just so terrifying for that woman, and I don't want to take any liberties for you speaking from personal experience, but serious health conditions are just so stressful, not only on the individual, but on, it's not just the individual we're talking about, but that woman's poor family who she so courageously discussed in that news conference, and the fact that, she was preparing her estate, her final wishes, I mean, thank God, only to find out that she was in the all clear, but just inexcusable to have gone through, at least according to her, a procedure like that. This roller coaster of emotions, I just can't even imagine.
And you know, Tom, I did, as you know, I am a cancer survivor, and I thought about just the emotional toll and strain that this must have taken on her, because, as you know, it is a vicious disease, and many of us fight it as hard and as best we can. But to be falsely diagnosed is just absolutely, as you say, just unfathomable what this lady has gone through. And she said at the time that she may have wanted to have additional children. And she says that what this took her through, and having to explain it all to her sons, and her sons going through a deep depression, and she thinking she was just going to die, just incredible circumstances here. And I think that Kaiser Permanente definitely will have some explaining to do on this one.
Yeah, I didn't want to volunteer that out of turn. Your own personal journey, which was quite real, and this woman's false alarm. But I know that you could certainly relate to the emotions that she must have gone through during this whole health drama. Angelique, certainly appreciate your reporting today, and we'll have to see where that case turns out. Want to talk about this manhunt that happened in Smyrna. It was quite a situation. This armed and dangerous gunman, according to police, following a shooting at an apartment complex. This is investigators said that the suspect fired 5 shots directly into an apartment door at the Alcove Apartments on Atlanta Road last Wednesday. Nobody was injured, but the gunman fled on foot before officers even arrived. Police released this surveillance image of the suspect holding a rifle. He's described as being in his late teens, early 20s, wearing a light gray hoodie with unique writing on it, dark pants, and white shoes. Officers believe he frequents the area and is asking anybody who happens to recognize him, there's his picture, to contact Smyrna police. More on the reflecting pool drama. President Trump is publicly criticizing the U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro after prosecutors moved to drop charges over damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Prosecutors filed to dismiss the case, citing evidence that the shoddy contractor installation was to blame rather than intentional vandalism. President Trump continues to insist, however, that vandalism caused major damage to the pool liner, expressing deep disappointment in the decision to drop the case, saying that Jeanine Pirro, that's the U.S. attorney who was prosecuting this case, quote, choked in front of that judge. Legal teams for the man previously charged say they are now exploring a civil lawsuit against the United States government. We are following a lot of breaking news as it's happening. Good news on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrials, again, rallying this afternoon on news of a possible deal with Iran and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And President Trump taking off for what is being characterized as a West Coast swing. As you can see, Air Force One there in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, lifting off. He's headed to Los Angeles. What will be interesting is if the California governor, Gavin Newsom, greets the president's plane, Air Force One, as it touches down in L.A. He did before, when the president traveled to California. The two are quite politically adversarial against one another, so we'll see if Governor Newsom is there on the steps of Air Force One to greet the president as he touches down in Southern California. And, of course, we're watching the markets. If you are an investor, if you even have a 401k account, good news for you today as stocks rally up over 1,000 points today, reaching another all-time high. When we come back here, as we continue, we're going to take a look at our weather. It has been storming out there in certain parts of the area today. Question is, will those storms kind of last into the evening, and what does tomorrow bring? Meteorologist Alex Forbes will join us here on deck when we come back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. Tom Haynes, joined by meteorologist Alex Forbes, who's been watching the weather for us all day long since this morning, Alex. You know, the threatening skies sort of happened. I was coming in around 12 o'clock today, and the skies were already darkening.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, are these the kind of showers and thunderstorms that are going to hang out like all day, or they seem to have gone away by now?
Well, what they're doing is I've been using the word percolating across the metro. They kind of go up in the same spots and then they come down. It's almost like a wave if you think about how the water does not move, it just rises and then rise moves along. That's exactly what's been going on with the storms today. And then they dropped a whole lot of rain, so much so that it prompted a flash flood warning earlier in parts of Cobb and in Fulton County. So let's take a look. This is a loop over the last 3 hours. You see how they really flared up right around noon in the metro, and then they just kind of expanded in all directions, and that remains the case right now. So the flash flood warning has been canceled. Metro Atlanta not seeing any rain any longer, but boy did we, right? If I stop this and we take a look at some of the, let's say, the 6-hour rainfall totals, your green colors, that is at least a ½ inch of rain, and your yellows is at least 2 inches of rain. And you can see, I mean, from Bartow County down through Cobb, South Fulton, and towards Clayton, Henry, Rockdale, Newton, Walton counties, well over a ½ inch of rain, with some of these spots, isolated spots of over 2 inches of rain inside the metro. So here's where the shower activity and storm activity is right now. Take you over towards Walton County, Barrow, and Oconee County. In fact, in Athens right now, just to the southeast of the University of Georgia, might be seeing some small hail right along East Whitehall Road, getting the white returns on the radar. Pretty good storm just south of Lexington with a decent amount of lightning with it right now. And then also over across parts of Floyd, Gordon, Polk, and Haralson counties. Those are more heavier showers, a couple lightning strikes, but not a ton with them right now. So that's kind of the lay of the land. I would expect through the evening hours, let's break out the pencil. You ready for this? We've seen the storms kind of in this general area grow this way, and then the storms in that general area grow that way. So it's kind of a weird day pattern-wise. You know, it's possible that you get some more flare-up in here and some flare-up down on the south side, but I think by and large, the metro Atlanta area is drying out into the evening tonight. That's a weird animation. It's kind of funny. There you go. But that's the general motion of the storms. So that's what we've seen so far. Let me flip this over. I'm going to show you the power outage map because it's something I've continued to watch. We've seen about 3,000, or we're currently seeing about 3,000 outages here in Atlanta right now. 900 from Cobb, 600 from DeKalb, and then a smattering of other outages. But for the remainder of the day today, this is what we've got on the docket, the chance for showers and storms into the evening tonight before things eventually quiet down. And there's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. High temperatures just below the norm by a couple of degrees with a decent chance of rain through Thursday. And then we're back to kind of that summertime pattern really Friday and beyond.
And it's interesting, the showers and storms that kind of stick around, those are the ones that come mainly in the evenings, like around between 5 and 7 o'clock. They just sit there and rain and rain. Yep. These came, rained, and then they left.
Emphasis on the rained part, right? You know, they dumped some serious rainfall totals. The rates were about between 4 and 8 inches an hour in some spots. Now, that's if it rained at that exact intensity for an hour. We didn't have spots see 4 and 8 inches of rain. But if it moves through in, say, 25 minutes, then you pick up a quick 2 inches of rain. And that'll do it.
So this is going to be the situation as the rest of the work week continues. Looks like tomorrow is going to be maybe an even more rainy day than today.
Yes, yeah, looking for a similar pattern with a couple more people seeing some showers than today's yielding across the metro.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. We know you'll be watching it for us. Yep. Let's head to Atlanta, where residents are upset at a Northwest Atlanta apartment complex. They say that, look at that picture, will you? Trash overflowing, several pest infestations also creating what are being characterized as unbearable conditions. You can see why. Those living at Magnolia Park Apartments report dumpsters piled high with things like mattresses, and it probably stinks out there, furniture, household garbage. And according to residents, this has been going on for months. The mountain of refuse is attracting rats and snakes and flies and all kinds of raccoons and other rodents. Some residents say that rising rent and fixed incomes leave them stuck and unable to move.
I don't want to keep living like this. We got snakes, we got rats, we got raccoons. We have gnats that's eating me alive in my apartment and my granddaughter. Ain't no more Section 8 or no more based on income in Atlanta no more. If you ain't paying $1,200 and up for rent, you're stuck. I can't afford to get out of here. I'm on Social Security, fixed income once a month. I can't get out of this.
Management tells us that they took over the property 2 months ago and have a contractor scheduled to repair the broken trash compactor, which, according to management, is what's causing this problem. But nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves to walk out of their home and see something like this in a community like that. Atlanta Housing says that it's exploring all legal and other options to ensure that residents live safely there and aren't greeted when they come home in the evening or leave in the morning, or their kids are out playing, you know, with their bicycles or walking around, running around the neighborhood with a mountain of trash collecting where they live. Unreal. Well, from one problem to another. And these are residents in a local neighborhood who are filing a lawsuit against the HOA after paying $800 a month to 2 separate HOAs while dealing with unresolved mold and flooding issues there. So our Kevin Stewart on top of this one for us this afternoon. Never a good thing when residents are at war with their own HOAs.
Yeah, you know, we hear about this so often. The state recently passed some legislation to try to get more control over HOAs, although this may not necessarily help in this particular instance. But I want to walk you over here, Tom. These are the Tributary at Manchester townhomes, and this sign pretty much tells you all you need to know. Tributary townhome owners are paying and not getting repairs. We demand better. Basically, what's happening here is that they're paying, as you said, $800 HOA fees a month, and $250 of that, because there are multiple HOA fees that they're paying, are going towards upkeeping the homes. This is something that was new to me, quite honestly. Usually you're paying one HOA fee, but they have multiple ones, and one of them is specifically designed to upkeep the facade of the house, the grounds, the windows. And what you're seeing here from several of the homeowners is they're saying that the windows have been falling apart. And what's happening or not happening is when things are fixed, they're not fixed properly, they say, or sometimes not fixed at all. And so what's happened is that they've had mold that has developed inside of the homes. We took a look at one of the air quality reports, and they said that some of these homes have a level of moisture that is not good. And we talked to one woman who's 76 years old who says she has respiratory issues because of this. And she is part of about a dozen people in this townhome community that have filed suit against the HOA looking for action. They say they're up to date on the HOA fees, but they're not getting any results from it. I talked to the attorney and that 76-year-old woman. I want you to take a listen.
My clients paid for them, but they didn't get anything out of those payments. So that's the second way that they're being harmed. And then there's 2 other ways. One is the HOA is very cavalier in saying, we'll take care of the exterior, but not the interior. Well, when their failure to maintain the exterior leads to mold and water intrusion in the interior, they've got to fix that. When the townhome owners say, I have a leak, it's time to fix my windows, they're not getting the kind of service that you would think after having paid $3,000 a year every single year. We have one of the named plaintiffs has spent over $27,000 just on townhome maintenance for her exterior and has gotten zero, not a single, nothing.
I want this issue resolved. I want the fees lowered because they don't take care of the property. I want them to fix the property because I can't even sell this the way this property is now. So I'm a loser in this deal. And I'm 76 years old, so I want to get out of the whole mess entirely. So this was my retirement home. Yep, and I've been sick since I've been here.
Yeah, this is a big problem for several people, particularly for her, because she says she has health issues, and you can see, fix our homes. These signs, as you probably saw in some of that video, were dotted all over this neighborhood. They were just recently taken down, and it's got a lot of people frustrated. I had a chance to reach out to the Homeowners Association, and they provided us with a statement which, in short, says they respect the fact that people are upset and they get a chance to voice their opinions, but they say they are working to try to work this all out through mediation with the lawsuit, and they say that they can't say much more than that, but definitely a difficult, challenging situation in this beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah, well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, looks can be deceiving, Kevin. That the exterior of those townhomes, they're beautiful to look at. Little do we know, according to residents, what's lurking inside the walls there. And we know that HOAs can be very powerful entities. Okay, so powerful, as a matter of fact, that they can, I believe they can foreclose on a home if you're not paying your dues. So we know that HOA boards are involved. We know that sometimes those boards can be elusive. And I think I heard you right that the residents are dealing with not one, but two HOAs. One for the grounds, one for the structures of the dwellings, correct?
Yeah, right, and another one for the roof. They're so they have three different HOAs, and their lawyer. One of the things that they're looking to do is not only get this situation remedied and get the, say, for instance, the windows done properly, but fix the insides of the homes and get the fees reduced. They're kind of frustrated in the sense of that, why are we paying all of this and we're not seeing our money put to good use, they allege, and they really want a good accounting for the money. Of course, the state law that was passed this past legislative session does require for HOAs to be properly registered with the state and does allow for a good financial accounting, and so they hope that can help them in this sense. But when I talked to the attorney about the law, that particular law may not be 100% germane to this situation here, but they definitely want a good accounting of the money here, because they say, hey, we're paying so much money a month, thousands of dollars a year, and what do we have to show for it? They clearly believe it's being mismanaged.
Exactly, and it affects everything from resale of those homes, and of course you have to disclose like everything when you go to sell your home, and so you can understand why residents are so upset that they're paying into this HOA and yet they're dealing with all these problems. Usually there's a
they
law
think they're stuck.
Yeah,
they believe they're stuck.
Usually there's a law firm that represents the HOA. I'm guessing the attorneys for the residents are dealing with the law firm of that community.
Yeah, you know, that's the other thing. Obviously, when you sue the HOA, who else is paying that? You're paying that because your HOA dues go into that pot to pay an attorney. So it's definitely a very tricky, awkward situation. But they say they have to do this. They have to do this because they feel that not just for health, but for property values, because right now they believe they cannot sell in good conscience their homes here. And the woman that you heard there, she's 76 years old. She moved down here, I think she said 6 years ago from Indianapolis to retire, and she thought this was a great situation for her because it allowed her to have a maintenance-free home. You put your money into it and let somebody else do it. When you retire, you don't want to go out and do handiwork and that sort of thing. So she thought this was going to be ideal for her, but it turns out, she says, it has not been.
Yeah, well, it's a story that a lot of people can relate to, because a lot of people live in communities that are governed by HOAs. So interesting that you brought this particular case to our attention. Kevin Stewart live in Douglasville for us this afternoon. Kevin, hope those residents get the help they need. Appreciate your reporting for us today. When we come back, I got some breaking news in my hand. There's a situation in Northwest Atlanta where it appears multiple people have been shot near Maple Street, and I'll drill down geographically on exactly where this is happening in Northwest Atlanta. We understand, according to police, that at least one victim has been pronounced deceased. Skyfox 5 on the way to that situation. As soon as we get more information and pictures of what's happening there, we will bring it to you as we continue. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. So happy you're with us this afternoon. I'm Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom here as we're covering a whole lot of stories happening today. It's a busy afternoon of news this afternoon. Want to get to a story regarding a Zipline company. It's a drone service, actually. And they're giving demonstrations here in Atlanta. Soon, we're going to have things delivered right to our front door via drone. That means when you order on the food delivery sites, Grubhub and Uber Eats and things like that, it's going to airdrop it right to your front doorstep. Well, this company is showcasing how packages are going to be delivered straight to people's homes. Maria Guzman live on White Street with a firsthand look at this technology. I find this so cool. The fact that these drones are able to come right to our homes and deliver things to us, Maria. What's this company talking to you about this afternoon?
Hey, it's super cool, and something I want to let you guys know that it's already operating. Now, Zipline has been operating since 2016. They began operating in the U.S. last year in April of 2025. So it's not new to them, but it's new to Georgia, it's new to Atlanta, and so they did this demonstration to show people how their technology works, and they're hoping to bring it to the market here within the next year. So right here we have those drones that we're going to be talking about. They're actually charging right now. They're in their docking station, but before they fly, they go through about 500 just safety procedures, and then they're going to go ahead and fly up to 300 feet in the air, and they can carry up to 8 pounds. So today, a demonstration, they did 5 pounds with a grocery bag to give you guys some perspective. So it's all done through the Zipline website, their app. So I spoke with a spokeswoman to show you guys how it all works.
Download the Zipline app. You'll place your address in. So this one we're going to choose here because that is where we are today in Atlanta. And what you'll see is these are all approved and determined that they're safe to land and safe to do deliveries in. So we'll choose this one since we're standing right there. You'll go ahead and confirm that location. In commercial operations, what you'll see is an entire marketplace and a number of storefronts with our national partners or small businesses that we are partnering with in the local area. But here we have set up a storefront specifically for this use because we're not currently operational yet in Atlanta. And you'll scroll through just like you would any app. You'll place an order, load it to the cart, and you'll check out. And then just like others, it will give you updates on order received, that the team is preparing the order, and it'll often give you a countdown of how much time it's going to take for you to expect your delivery. I am holding a much smaller pod. It is attached to a larger drone that flies your delivery right to your door. That drone stays 300 feet in the air, and it lowers this smaller pod with your delivery right to your backyard. This pod, as you can see, is not as heavy as it might look. It is made something similar of styrofoam, polycarbonate, I believe. And when it goes to pick up the delivery, it will be transported inside here. We can hold up to 8 pounds worth of goods, either retail or food. And once it gets to your delivery location, the drone will remain 300 feet in the air. It'll lower this pod all the way to the ground, and it will open up the bottom and place your order very gently on the ground. So you're able to order, fragile things like eggs or cold items or hot items, and it'll be placed very, very gently on the ground in your yard. So we partner with national retailers. We partner with a lot of local mom and pop small businesses in the areas that we operate, as well as the healthcare facilities. And in this bag, we have 5 pounds worth of groceries, so that if we're having some folks over for a backyard barbecue and needed some last minute supplies, you can go ahead and open up the Zipline app, place your order. It'll be delivered right to your yard. And you'll see in here, we've got some hot dogs, some potato salad, some green beans, everything that you might need for maybe a last minute get together.
And one big question I've been hearing is if these drones are able to fly, just when it's raining, and they can. It was raining today in the morning and they flew, so it can fly during sunshine like right now or in a rainy day.
So Maria, just to be clear, this is up and live right now. I just have to download the Zipline app to my phone and I can start placing orders?
Not in Georgia. They're hoping to bring it in Georgia, but if you're in other states, I believe they have it in Texas. It can work in some parts. Not, you know, like I believe they're in big parts of the cities in Texas, but not in Georgia. The app is real. The website's real. It's up and running. But in Georgia, they're hoping to bring it soon. So they did this demonstration.
Do they have a timeline? I mean, they're here doing the demonstration as to when it might become available for us here in Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, I asked. They said within the next year. So
okay,
we'll see.
All right. Well, the technology is cool anyway. For those who do have access to it, Zipline coming to a neighborhood near you soon. Maria Guzman. Maria, thanks. We are on top of that breaking news, waiting for Skyfox 5 to arrive over the scene in northwest Atlanta, around Maple Street, we understand, where multiple people are reportedly shot. According to Atlanta police, one man, at least one victim, deceased there. Officers on the scene gathering information, as is our assignment desk, and we're continuing to find out what's happening there. As soon as we get more info, we'll bring it to you. Want to head out to our Chris Rosenthal now, where students at the so-called Global Village Project in Decatur getting a major back-to-school surprise today, thanks to a new investment from the Atlanta Dream and financial app Albert. Chris Rosenthal there for the big reveal and brings us the highlights. Chris?
Yeah, hey Tom, events just wrapped up not too long ago, but it was really a big day here, and the second day of school for these students. And first of all, they're in a new building this year, which is an $8 million project, and the students are already excited here. Now, Global Village Project, you may not have heard of them, but they are a only school in the country, middle school dedicated to refugee girls. They cater to about 46 students here, middle school age. The goal is to get them through this program, then get them into traditional high schools and get them really ready, coming from where their refugee areas where they're coming from. But today was a really special and exciting day because there is a partnership now with Global Village Project and Atlanta Dream, and like you said, Albert Personal Finance app, and the students got to have some activities with the Atlanta Dream with some of the members of the staff there. They had a lot of fun with a shopping spree and some drills, and also a big financial donation here. This is a tuition-free school, nonprofit, $130,000 over the next 4 years. That donation, and I spoke with Morgan Shaw Parker. She's the president of Atlanta Dream, and also with some folks from Global Village Project just about this donation and what this will mean for them and what they did today. Let's take a listen.
Girls actually got Albert bucks, so they were able to get $10, and they were able to then go spend it on school supplies. They were able to buy a pair of Nike shoes for $6, which in most cases you can't do that, but they're learning the value of money. They're coming into this country sometimes with only a kindergarten, third grade, maybe sixth grade education, and so they come from all backgrounds, and a lot of them don't understand how currency works. So Albert really came in to teach them a little bit of that. They were able to buy school supplies, pencils, pens, backpacks, and then we're also bringing them in to teach them teamwork, give them a little more confidence, and teach them some of the skills for basketball.
And it was just really special because there's really great alignment between what the Atlanta Dream does and what we do here at Global Village Project. They're really focused on equity for all and making sure that everyone's got a fair shot, and that's really what we do here at Global Village Project as well.
And they also brought a big donation themselves and Albert. And what does that mean to you guys?
We're a tuition-free school, so that really means everything to us. The girls and their families don't pay any tuition to come here, and so that money is going to enable us to do everything that we do here, which includes that over the next couple of years, we're going to double our enrollment. So we currently have about 45 girls enrolled every year, and in the next couple of years, we're scaling that up to 100 students annually. So that's going to allow us to just really grow the impact in our neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. That money, like you heard, is going to have a really big impact on this school here, allowing it to grow. As for the partnership with Atlanta Dream, this is going to keep going. They say they're going to have the students over to watch some of the games and get tours of their facilities and get to experience it behind the scenes. So back to you, Tom.
It's so great and inspirational for those students with the Dream involved and the financial app Albert providing those kind of resources for those students there. Chris Rosenthal. Chris, thanks. Want to head back to live pictures now from Skyfox 5. This is the breaking news that we've been reporting here for the past couple of minutes. Confirming now, according to Atlanta police, they're investigating what appears to be a major shooting right where our chopper is over right now. And I'm going to give you just a slice of geographical info. This is on Maple Street. This is right in the downtown area. And what I mean by that is if you're familiar with the College Football Hall of Fame, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, this is just west of Northside Drive in that area, apparently at that apartment complex, which you see is taped off right now. According to police, we understand that multiple people have been shot in this neighborhood. This is 55 Maple Street, again, right behind the Benz. One male, according to Atlanta police, has been pronounced dead there at the scene. At least one. We don't know the conditions of the other victims there. We don't know what led up to this shooting, why the gunfire started ringing out in the first place, or if any innocent bystanders in this apartment community happen to be involved. But you can see residents there standing outside wondering what the heck is going on and what led up to this violence as police try to drill down and find out what happened. Fire rescue on the scene, obviously transporting any of the victims that may have been hit by the gunfire. At this time, officers aren't providing much more information. We have a Fox 5 crew also working this story. But again, this happening in Northwest Atlanta. And just to hone you in on exactly where this is happening, west of Mercedes-Benz Stadium is where all this broke out at this apartment complex, where police say gunfire rang out. One person being fatally struck, multiple others injured. So you have sort of a mass casualty, if you will, situation unfolding here. Looks like the situation, at least by the disposition of the officers walking there on the sidewalk, has been brought to a conclusion. I don't see any officers there at the ready trying to de-escalate the situation. This seems like the aftermath of the shooting that happened there. Our chopper's above the scene. Our crew is working to gather more details, and as soon as we learn more, we'll pass it along to you. Sports coming up next. Falcons training camp. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. As we round out the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local, I'm Tom Haynes. Thanks for hanging with us today. Falcons training camp officially underway in Flowery Branch as preseason preparations start to heat up, both literally and figuratively. Sports director DJ Shockley live out there on the sidelines with the fans this afternoon. DJ, tell us how it's going out there.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, man. Practice ended probably about 25-30 minutes ago, and it did not end in the way that everybody wanted to. At the end of practice, linebacker Jalen Walker would go down. He would be writhing on the ground, and just a scene that nobody wanted to see at the end of practice. Obviously, Jalen Walker coming into his second year, one of the top defensive players on this team, and no news yet. Obviously, there's lots of speculation of what it could be, but we're just hoping for the best for him. Other news from today, obviously, Bijan Robinson, news of him getting his new deal done, almost $75 million worth of extensions on the 3-year deal. 51 of that is guaranteed, 37 at the signing, so it's similar to what Tom Haynes makes, but I'm nor here nor there. But yeah, it was a good day other than obviously the injury from Jalen Walker, and the fans were here. They were excited. Obviously, the Falcons weren't in pads today. They were yesterday, but not today. They can't go back-to-back, and a lot of fans on the hill today. Obviously, I think a lot of kids were here today because school starts back for mostly everybody tomorrow, but it was a good day for the Falcons to get out on the field, and as they get ready for this season, a lot of good things to be excited about. And Kevin Stefanski actually talked about having Bijan Robinson back and what he means to this team. Take a listen.
When you start watching tape on another team, you typically start from the beginning and go to the end. So I watched every play for the offense, defense, and special teams as I was taking this job or getting ready to take this job. And, I don't know, was it the second play or third play where he went 50 yards for a touchdown? So not long is the answer to the first part. He's wired the right way, was raised the right way. He's a team guy all the way, and that can be rare sometimes in this day and age. But it's just who he is. It's certainly authentic. And that's been my experience with him from the moment I met him here in the locker room to now. He's all about the team.
I'm not participating, DJ.
And that's exactly who he is. Bijan's that kind of guy. He's been that kind of guy for a long time. And his teammates love him. They were glad to see him back out here today at practice. And he led the league in all-purpose yards last year, so he's going to be another guy they depend on tremendously, along with Drake London, who they extended, Matthew Bergeron, who they extended, and Kyle Pitts. So they got their 4 core guys locked in for the next 3 or 4 years. And, Tom, it should be hoping for a really good season. And we'll have more to come, obviously, on what we know from Jalen Walker and his injury.
Yeah, Bijan always got a smile on his face, which you got to love. One can only dream of a contract that size. Regarding Jalen Walker, DJ, real quick, I was just kind of trying to read while you were talking that he couldn't really put weight on his leg, kind of limped or was carried off the field. Is that what you saw out there?
Yeah, so we were probably about 50 yards away from him when it happened, and you look up and he's on the ground, and he's kind of rolling around a little bit and obviously in a lot of pain, and you just don't know, but he was taken off on a cart back to get x-rays, and I'm sure he'll do MRIs, all that kind of stuff, and as soon as we know, we'll let people know. But obviously right now a lot of people praying for Jalen Walker.
All right, DJ Shockley, great job out of Falcons training camp for us this afternoon, DJ. Thanks, and thank you for watching the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. I'm Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Don't go anywhere. The news continues right here, right now.